also have the PhilHealth VP Hilda Diaz, PhilHealth Acting RVP Dr. uh, Paulo Johan, and PhilHealth Region 2, Regional Vice President, Your Honors. We also the PhilHealth CEO, President and CEO Ricardo Morales. We also with us today in plenary, Dr. Ismael Pagas. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Comsec. Isang mabilis lang po na pagsusuma dun sa mga nangyayari para din po makita ng ating mga kababayan at lahat ng miyembro ng komite kung nasa na po yung sitwasyon ng ating investigasyon at yung mga hakbang na kailangan pa natin gawin. So if I may just present a very short slide of where we are now. Ito po yung ating PhilHealth organization. Kaya ko po inilagay ito at ipakita sa atin para makita ninyo yung kabuuang pagkilos ng PhilHealth. Kung makikita po dyan, malinaw yung mga guests po natin dito, yung mga nagsasalita, ano yung kanilang posisyon, at kung paano nakaka-apekto sa kabuuang pagkilos ng PhilHealth. Next slide. Sentrong-sentro sa lahat ng pagkilos ang Chief Operating Officer. Batay na rin yan dun sa kaninang pinakita kong slide. At dito po sa kanya nakapailalim ang management services na kung saan nakapaloob ang mga promotion ng ating mga naninilbihan at kawani ng PhilHealth. Dito rin po nakapaloob yung finance. Yung finance po, dito naglalabas ng pondo, dito nagkakaroon ng mga investments. At nandyan din po yung health policy. Diyan si Dr. Pargas na siyang gumagawa ng mga polisiya na gumagabay sa loob ng PhilHealth. Sa tabi rin po dyan yung legal. Yung legal, mayroong mga legal din sa loob ng mga region. Ngunit ang pagpa-file ng kaso, ang pagtingin sa mga kaso ng mga ospital, ang pagtingin ng kaso ng nakapaloob ng mga kawani ng PhilHealth ay dyan po nakapaloob. Kung mapapansin ho, yung Bids and Awards Committee, direktang nakapailalim sa President and CEO. Kaya yung usapin ng IT, dyan po nakapasok. Ang actuary po, ang IT nasa gilid, and then yung internal audit na meron ng PhilHealth ay direkta rin nagre-report sa Board of Directors at saka sa President and CEO. Apat yung kanilang VP at yan po yung mga region. Iba po ang division ng mga iba't ibang region kumpara sa mga opisina na sanay po tayo no, na per region. But dito ho, may apat na VP at dyan nakapasok din yung kanilang mga regional directors. Next slide. Paano ba pumapasok ang pondo ng PhilHealth? Sa ospital, papasok sa benefits and administrative services. Dr. Pargas, Mr. Limsiaco, our legal Vice President Mas, please correct me kung may nakikita kayong mali dito sa mga presentasyon natin. Mula po sa benefits and administrative services, pinopondohan kaagad yan sa central office ng fund management sector. So sa region ho, diretso kay finance, kay CEO, at sa Chief Operating Officer, at sa Chief Executive Officer o Presidente ng PhilHealth. Kaya ho kung minsan pagka nagawa na ang isang policy at meron ng claims para ho dito, diretso na ho yung claims of finance ng region, diretso sa finance ng central office. Next slide. Schemes of fraud, overpayment, sobrang bayad sa ospital. Upcasing, ito po yung hindi totoong sakit. For example, nagkaubo, and sa ating po mga ehemplo, pneumonia ho, no? Nagiging pneumonia. At yung ghost patients o peking pasyente. Ito yung mga nakita natin sa pagdaan ng panahon at ito rin yung mga nakitang mga audit findings. So isang example po sa nangyari, next slide. Sa public hospital, ang nangyayari po dyan, kung 15,000 ang professional fee in the case of pneumonia, yung 5,000, napapaghati-hatian yung professional fee. Kasi pag pumasok naman ng pondo sa loob ng public hospital, ay hindi na ito basta-basta may ilalabas. Marami ng proseso sa loob ng gobyerno. Pero yung professional fee, ito ho yung nagagalaw. Sa private sector naman, for example, in the case of 2017, ang DOH 454,000 cases ng pneumonia, sa PhilHealth 707,000. Ang equivalent po nito o katumbas na presyo ay 3.8 billion. In the latest hearings with Dr. Parga, sinabi niya for this year, 2020, 3 bilyon ang nakikita na nilang nawala sa pondo because of the scheme under the case rate system na isinasagawa sa ating PhilHealth. Ngayon, ano po ba? Next slide. Batay dito, ito kaagad ang nakikita nating mga problema na regions. Bakit ho? Dahil ito'y official reports ng Commission on Audit. 2013, NCR Region 1, Region 3, Region 9, Region 10, Region 12, Region 13, ARM, CAR, Region 4A, Region 6, and Region 7. Pinaka-extensive po ang 2013. Noong 2014, 6, 1, 9, and yung cataract scandal. 2015, NCR and Rizal. 2016, Regions 1 and 8. And 2017, NCR Regions 1 and 2. Yung 2018 po, technically not yet submitted to Congress dahil yan po'y dapat isinagawa noong huling Kongreso. So ano pong ibig sabihin nito? Batay dito, pwede na itong maging batayan ng pag-file ng kaso. Sa mga regions na meron ng kaagad na identify ang Commission on Audit, ay pwede na hong mag-file ng kaso. Ang COA mapapakinggan natin sa Thursday o sa Huwebes. Sa ngayon, meron po tayo mga ospital na narito ngayon na pwede nating makita ang kabuuan para ho mabuo ang pagpapakita natin ng pagkadikit-dikit ng proseso at problema ng korupsyon sa loob ng PhilHealth. Natapos na po tayo sa usaping OFW at meron tayong rekomendasyong batas. Yung RIM cash advance, patuloy pa ho natin pinag-uusapan, kalinsunod ng all case rates. Magkatabi po yan, kasama yung all case rates para sa COVID. At patuloy pa rin po ang pag-uusap sa IT at yung COVID testing. So with that, nandito naman ho yung civil service na kasama po natin at yung mga ospital. Kung maaari ho, kung mabibigyan ng pagkakataon ay masimulan ko ho yung pagtatanong muna sa civil service represented by
Commissioner Alisada.
Who, may I request, sino ho nagre-represent sa ating Chairman Bala of the Civil Service Commission? Attorney Ronquillo? Attorney Ronquillo is recognized of the Civil Service Commission. Attorney Ronquillo is recognized. Kindly unmute your video,
Yeah.
please.
Your Honor, yes, good morning po. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, all the members of the committee.
Thank you, Attorney Ronquillo. Attorney Ronquillo, are you representing the Civil Service Commission or Chairman Bala this morning?
I was directed by Chairperson Bala to respond to the invitation sent by the committee, Your Honor.
Ay, maraming salamat po, Attorney Ronquillo. So, Attorney Ronquillo, i-direct ko po sa inyo yung mga katanungan. Marami po bang naka-file na mga kaso ng PhilHealth sa Civil Service Commission?
Yes, Your Honor. Meron pong mga cases na naka-file sa amin at saka sa regional offices involving PhilHealth officials. Administrative cases, both disciplinary and non-disciplinary.
Mga ilan po to, Attorney Ronquillo?
Your Honor, let me just look at the figures, if you will allow me, Your Honor. Your Honor, can I give the figures later? I'm just asking my people to give us.
Thank you. Yes, and if you can you possibly submit to the committee yung mga cases na yan?
Yes, Your Honor, we will submit to the committee.
Attorney Ronquillo, are there many final and resolved cases within the Civil Service regarding PhilHealth?
Yes, Your Honor. Marami na pong natapos, pero yung ibang cases po nakapending pa rin po.
At marami rin po ba dyan ang mga kasama ang mga regional vice presidents?
Meron pong mga cases ng regional vice presidents po.
Sino-sino po to, Attorney Ronquillo?
Your Honor, can I give the names later? I'm just requesting for the names of these people. Pinahanap ko lang po, Your Honor.
Pakiulit po, Attorney Ronquillo.
Yes, Your Honor, hinahanap po namin yung exact names ng mga regional vice presidents ng PhilHealth na may pending cases po sa amin.
Attorney Ronquillo, sige, balik ko na lang po dun sa tanong. Ilan po ang may kaso sa inyong pending mula sa PhilHealth? Attorney Ronquillo, may
Yes,
number
sir.
po ba?
Your Honor?
Go ahead. Would you have the number, Attorney Ronquillo? May numero na po ba kayo kung ilan?
Hindi pa po dumadating, Your Honor. I already texted my sandali po.
Attorney Ronquillo, isang tanong lang po.
Sige po.
Meron po bang dating taga PhilHealth na nagtatrabaho sa inyo ngayon dyan sa Civil Service Commission?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sino po?
Attorney Cheng Parenas po.
Ano pong posisyon niya ngayon?
Attorney 5.
Attorney 5 lang po, but without any, wala po siyang pinanghawakan na posisyong kritikal dito sa investigasyong to.
Wala po. Wala po, Your Honor.
May I request, Commissioner, I have here a note that you will submit a position paper. Attorney Ronquillo, is this correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay din po yan, but can we get the documents as regards yung mga kaso ng PhilHealth sa inyong opisina? Or is
Yes,
this
Your Honor. Along with the position paper, we will submit to the committee the cases, the number of cases, as well as the summaries of these cases to the committee, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Ronquillo. If I may, Comsec, mabilis lang kong pagtanong kay Commissioner Bala of the Civil Service Commission. Commissioner Lisada, I'm sorry, Commissioner Eileen Lisada. Kindly unmute, Commissioner Lisada.
Unmute. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning po.
Yes, good morning, Commissioner Lisada. Commissioner, kasi po yung mga tanong namin, would you know in particular yung pong ilan ang may kaso dito po sa Civil Service Commission?
What period are we talking about, sir? Because the request for inventory or audit that my office initiated from 2009 to 2020, sir, we were given a list of 74 cases, sir.
74 cases.
This is from 2010 to 2020, sir, current.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Lisada. We are very happy with that kasi po ang amin naman kung anong aabutin ng inyong mga kaso. But 2010 is maganda po yan dahil talagang malayo. Magmula pa ho sa ngayon, 10 years. Ma'am, malaman lang po namin, ilan po ang mga regional vice president na may mga kaso?
Sir, based on the data given to me by my legal staff, ang RVPs po na meron ho kaming listahan based on the list submitted by the Office of Legal Affairs to us. The names of the following are appearing. Do you want the names, sir, of the RVPs?
Sige po, ma'am. Can you kindly name them?
Mr. Ernesto V. Beltran, Mr. Dennis Adre, Mr. Macabato, Acting RVP Poliero, Miriam Grace Pamonag. Hindi ko lang ho alam kung if Miriam Grace is RVP, but ito ho yung lumalabas sa amin, sir, na binigay ho ng legal ko.
Madam Commissioner, yan pong mga kaso na po ba yan ay decided na o marami pong nakapending pa rin dyan sa inyo?
If we're talking about cases from before the previous commission, sir, meron hong 2 MR remaining and meron din hong mga pending, sir.
Ilan po ma'am ang pending?
Based on what my legal gave me, I have 19, sir. I might be wrong, but ito ho yung, because I requested for a summary from my legal of the cases. So, from as far as I'm concerned, sir, dito na binibigay sa akin, 19.
Ma'am, bakit di ba po ang mandate niyo is that within 6 months these cases should have been resolved and given to the agency concerned?
Exactly, sir, the same question that I have, because ever since I got the list from my legal, pinalagay ko yung mga red flags and observations, and I see some periods that are quite short and some periods that medyo years po, sir, ang nakikita ko dito ang iba.
Some
Mr. Chair,
cases na
Chair, I
mabilis na resolve, yung iba naman po pinapatagal, nakapark po dyan.
Can we request them to use an earphone or what?
Commissioner
It's
Lisada,
very difficult to understand the answer, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Lisada, the Honorable Marcoleta is requesting kasi po gusto niyang intindihin yung sinasabi niyo. Medyo yung signal ata magulo. Hindi ho na masyadong ma-decipher po, ma'am.
How is this, Mr. Chairman, Congressman Marcoleta? Can you hear na po better?
Medyo maganda ng konti, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Salamat po.
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Ma'am, ano po, maraming mga nakapending na matagal, taon, at marami din pong mabilis na desisyonan.
As far as the summary given to me po by my legal, meron hong 10 months, meron hong 6 years, merong mga 3 months po. Iba-iba ho yung mga periods, sir.
Would those cases constitute a dismissal from the service?
Some, meron po.
Some meaning more than 2, Madam Commissioner.
You are correct, Mr. Chairman.
Salamat, Madam Commissioner. Madam Commissioner, ang tanong ko lang po, bakit po parang si Atty. Ronquillo was supposed to be representing the CSC? Bakit po parang wala silang hawak na figures at wala po mga hawak na dokumento katulad po ng hawak nyo sa ngayon?
When the President came out with a memo, sir, creating the task force on PhilHealth, my office initiated an internal audit or inventory kasi literally bago ho ako sa CSC. And I wanted to see the pattern, if ever may pattern po, way back. But what I got, ang hiningi ko lang po ay 2010 hanggang current. And I realized the creation of PhilHealth was prior to 2010. So I wanted to see po kung ano yung data na meron available. So hiningi ko, again, from the establishment of PhilHealth, I wanted to see kung pabalik-balik lang po ba o paulit-ulit lang ba ang mga kinakasuhan. So that's what I have right now, but I'm waiting for, and this was shared po sa office ni Chairman by the Office of Legal Affairs when they gave the data to me, sir. Kasi I wanted to see the pattern.
May I interject, Mr.
Yes,
Chair?
go ahead, go ahead.
Madam Commissioner, I think the chairman is asking a very basic question. As a matter of fact, we are surprised why Attorney Ronquillo is not able to give us at least the number of cases of PhilHealth officials that are still pending with CSC. I'd like to believe that the question is very simple. Tinatanong lamang po kung ilan yung kaso, and considering that PhilHealth is the flavor of the day, in anticipation of questions like that, kaya naman po kayo tinawag para mabigyan nyo kami ng ayuda sa mga gustong impormasyon na makuha namin. Pati po ba yung number of cases lang, hindi niya maibigay? May I ask you, Madam, what is the number of existing or pending cases with the CSC as of today?
As far as yung binigay ho sa akin ng legal ko, it is 19, sir. Unless meron hong iba pa na nasa NCR, iba pa rin ho yun. Kasi meron hong na-file baka sa NCR, iba rin ho ang nasa central office.
So what is the total number, all in all, now pending?
Based ho yung binigay sa akin, sir, it's 19.
19. What
Yes,
is the
sir.
nature of those cases?
It varies, sir. Meron hong, karamihan po nito ay mga administrative charges, may mga grave misconduct, meron ho tayong mga on
Ilan po yung mga
appointments.
cases that will require dismissal? For example, grave misconduct.
If I may be allowed, sir, to look at my list, sir. Are we talking about yung ngayon ho current or yung remaining pa ho
Out of
noon?
the
Kasi
90.
meron po
Out of the
Okay.
19, alam po ninyo, ang importansya sa amin ngayon, because we're taking a good attention on the manner the funds of PhilHealth is being administered or being taken care of. So, isa po yan sa tinitingnan namin, ano-ano po ba yung mga kasong naisampa sa inyo? And we would like to believe that because the objective is very important na maisaayos nga natin ang pondo, we would like and we anticipate CSC to be able to help us in being able to adjudicate all these cases in the soonest possible time. Madam Commissioner, we're talking of the funds of the people.
yes, sir.
We're talking here of an institution that takes care of about 200 billion pesos a year. Ngayon po kung may magsasampa ng kaso sa inyo, we don't suppose that you take your sweet time. Pondo po ito kailangan po nating maisaayos lahat. Kanina po tinatanong ng chairman, I think it's very solicitous. Number pa lang, hindi na masabi ng Atty. Ronquillo. May I deviate a little more, Mr. Chair? Totoo po ba na nanggaling po sa CSC yung award ng isang key official that is responsible in constructing the database of PhilHealth at saka yung nagmamanage ng information technology? Ang Civil Service Commission po ang gumawa ng award na yon. Parang ang ibig sabihin, talagang maganda ang database na nagawa ng PhilHealth. And the one managing the information technology was also awarded. Hindi ko alam kung parehong tao yon. Is it true that it came from the civil service, yung pagbibigay ng award na yon? Because later on, nagsalita po si President Morales, nasabi niya, ang pinakaugat ng corruption dito ay dahil sa database is fragmented. So how do you reconcile the fact that you awarded those particular personnel managing the database of PhilHealth and the information technology when later on the President himself na sinabi niya, dito po nag-uugat yung database po namin fragmented, mali-mali. So how would you reconcile that award and the admission of the President of PhilHealth later na ito yung pinaka-ugat ng pinagmumulan ng anomaly? Kasi nga hindi nila maisaayos. Will you explain that?
Commissioner
Thank you.
Lisada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. Definitely not during my time. Kaya nga I made the inquiry kasi gusto ko malaman. Definitely, hindi ako part ng commission na yan na nag-award sa PhilHealth. And if there was any award, I would like to refer this to Ascom Ronquillo because I am not aware of any awards being given
Honorable
during my time.
Sorry, before you continue, Madam Commissioner Lisada.
Yes, Chair.
Yes. Ito pong umagang ito, supposedly si Atty. Ronquillo is representing the Civil Service Commission and Chairperson Bala. Is that not correct? Di po ba tama yun?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
I'll be straight to the point. Pasensya na po kayo, Commissioner, at hindi ko naman nilalahat. Pero meron po bang pagkilos o may galaw na isuppress ang information dito sa investigasyon ng Kongreso at ng mga iba pang opisina ng ating gobyerno?
Sir, can you repeat your question? May suppression ba on?
May suppression ba ng mga data? Kasi kanina tinatanong namin kay Atty. Requillo, very basic, siya ang nagre-represent ng Civil Service Commission. Nung kayo po sumagot, binigay niyo lahat ng mga numero, meron po bang move sa loob ng Civil Service Commission to suppress information and not to give it to this committee? Please be honest, Commissioner Rizada.
Mr. Chairman, we had a meeting ever since lumabas ho yung memorandum ng presidente. Right away, we had a virtual meeting. And yes, sir, may guidance po regarding yung concern niyo po. May guidance po.
May guidance po na ano po yun? Huwag magbigay ng impormasyon?
Yes, sir.
May I know where it's coming from? It's obviously, Commissioner Lisada, sinasabi mo sa amin yung mga kaso, so it's not you. So where is that directive coming from, Commissioner Lisada?
From the other member of the commission, sir.
From the what?
Can you be frank enough to tell us, Commissioner Lisada, kung sino po? Because you're a commissioner, and I could assume only one person can order the other commissioners and administratively supervise and control the other employees of the Civil Service Commission, and that is Chairperson Bala. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chair, is it now correct to assume that the chairperson of the Civil Service Commission is the one that is suppressing the information that should be given to us in this investigation?
Commissioner Bala, the question is the chairperson of the Commission on Civil Service the authority ordering the Commission and the employees of the Civil Service Commission
Not to cooperate with us?
not to cooperate and to divulge information?
Mr. Chair, is it directed to me?
Yes,
Or-
Commissioner Lisada.
As far as I can recall, sir, in the commission meeting, the guidance given to us is that
Who gave the
This-
guidance, madam? Who gave the guidance?
the chairperson po.
Okay. When you say the chairperson, Chairperson Bala of the Civil Service Commission,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
the guidance given to you is to go slow on the information. Do not cooperate with us. Let's not divulge information and words like that. That is very clear, madam. I know you are a crusader. I know you came from LTFRB. And I salute you for doing a lot of reforms in LTFRB. I think you are playing a good job now by cooperating with us.
And by helping us, Commissioner Lisada, I would like to thank you for that.
Mr. Chair, may I say something?
Before po kayo magsalita, nung nagsalita po si Chairman Bala na huwag kayong magbigay ng impormasyon at huwag kayong magsalita dito sa komite, marami pong nakaharap at marami kayong kasama?
Yes, sir. It was recorded as well. Marami ho, all the members po those who usually attend the commission meetings and other directors, sir. Marami po.
Nandun po yung mga commissioners, two commissioners, and the other, at yung iba po mga directors at opisyalis ng Civil Service Commission.
Yes, sir. Bale, isa na lang ho akong commissioner na naiwan. The other one retired already last February, sir, this year.
Okay, ma'am, please, kung ano po yung gusto niyo sabihin?
Yun lang po kasi when the president came out with this directive and knowing how grand the effect of what is happening, I initiated po yung audit and yung inventory, which naman po was taken well by the chairman as to the list. And then I requested for priority on resolving of the cases na unahin ho muna yung mga RVPs, and then the RVPs with other correspondents and the other least cases na po. So kagaya ho nung sinabi ni Congressman Marcoleta na regarding the reward, I have never been part and I will always stand by kung ano ho yung tama at totoo lamang. That's why I want to get down to the truth of it. That's why I'm asking for the inventory as well. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair. I have the best of intentions in asking data within CSC. And I believe it is our duty to do so.
Mr. Chair, may I ask a few more questions?
Go ahead.
Commissioner Lasada, the other day, I think earlier in our investigation, we were asking about the competence and eligibility of the key officials of PhilHealth. And at some point in time, we came across of, I think, a policy in PhilHealth that a salary grade 24 employee, government employee, with a specific relation with PhilHealth should have at least master's degree. And I think that was admitted by one of the officials before us at that time. But somewhere along the line, Madam Commissioner, PhilHealth asked the Civil Service Commission to waive that particular requirement to the extent that some of those key officials did not have master's degree. Number one question, did CSC really waive that requirement for and in behalf of those requesting PhilHealth officials? And what is the reason for waiving that if that requirement was indeed waived?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Commissioner Lisada.
we have on board our director Rodolfo Encajonado, who is in charge as well of itong tinatanong ho ni Congressman Marcoleta. I think he is in a better position regarding qualification standards and the policies issued pursuant thereto. May he be recognized, Mr. Chairman.
Before that, Deputy Speaker Marcoleta, alam niyo ho, si Secretary Duque nakatrabaho ko, hindi naman po yan lingid sa kaalaman ng karamihan. At masakit pong itanong sa akin to, but I have to ask this question. Naging Civil Service Chairman din po siya eh. Tama po ba, Commissioner Lisada?
Tama po, Mr. Chairman.
May connection po ba yung pagiging chairman niya dito sa pagpigil ng impormasyon na ibigay sa amin ng Civil Service Commission?
May connection po na Mr. Chair?
May connection po ba dahilan sa siya po yung nagsilbi bago kay Chairperson Bala, may mga tao dyan na galing PhilHealth and I'm sure konektado sa kanya. Ito po ba may connection sa pagiging dati niyang chairman ng Civil Service Commission?
Sir, for the record, I do not have direct evidence on whether meron siyang connection. Pero going back po dun sa sinabi ho ni Ascom Ariel kanina, which was one of my concerns previously, a PhilHealth employee reviewing PhilHealth cases well with me. That's why I questioned it po. And then that's why tinatanong ko nga ho yung the propriety of our lawyers who were formerly involved or connected with PhilHealth. And I looked at the disposition of the cases by the person. So, yun nga ho yung concern ko. I would like to address that as well. But as to the connection, sir, yung sinasabi niyo kay former Secretary Duque, And itong mga ibang cases po, I do not have direct evidence of that, sir.
If there will be, because you are a constitutional body, if there will be a legal action to be taken by Congress, Commissioner Lisada, titindigan niyo po yung salita ninyo na ayaw magbigay ng impormasyon ni Chairman Bala at ayaw mag-cooperate dito sa Kongreso.
Sir, that is the truth. That was disclosed, and the meeting was recorded, sir.
The meeting was recorded at merong minutes nung inyong pag-uusap.
Meron, sir, which is my point now. Kaya nga ho, the minutes was supposed to be
Sure,
approved.
we can request a copy of the minutes of that meeting for our
Sir,
reference.
sorry, Mr. Chair. That's why ho, one of my concerns, I did not move for the approval of the minutes kasi ho, the declaration was not reflected in the minutes, but the audio says otherwise. So that's why we're preparing our memo for the correction of the minutes, sir.
There was an audio of the meeting, but the minutes to be approved, tinanggal na po yun. Can you tell us exactly what were the words of Chairperson Bala?
If my recollection serves me right, this information should not be made public, nor should be given out to anyone who would be asking, either in aid of legislation or investigation. Parang ganon. Yun ho yung matandaan ko, sir.
Madam Commissioner, you are now in the process of correcting that and reflecting those statements or phrases to rectify what really happened, and that will be borne out by the minutes. You are now correcting that minutes, Madam Commissioner?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Chair. Yun ho yung memo ko because when I read it, and apparently it does not faithfully reproduce what was taken up during the meeting.
So,
And it's going, sorry, sir.
what is the process, Mr. Chair, Madam Commissioner, in correcting that? As soon as you are able to suggest those corrections, who is going to approve that? Maybe somebody is going to disapprove the correction. What will happen next?
So far, dalawa lang ho kami ngayon sa commission, Mr. Chair. So it's ako ho yung mag-move for the approval of the minutes, and it will be seconded by the other member of the commission. So hindi ho yan ma-finalize or ma-formalize if there is no motion for approval of the minutes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so there are no impediments for the correction of the minutes. And after the minutes is corrected, Madam Commissioner, the committee is requesting for a copy of that corrected minutes for our reference. Will you be able to do that?
Yes, sir. If it will already be carried out in another session meeting, sir.
Thank you. Session suspended for 1 minute.
So we include all the resource persons.
Yes. Hearing resume. Commissioner Lizardo. Commissioner Lizardo, ma'am.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes. Kung maaari po sana ma'am, pasensya na po kayo at lahat po ng mga guests natin sa Zoom at yung mga guests po natin dito sa plenary. Kung di po ho tayo naka-oath, ma'am, we would have to administer the oath.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, COMSEC is directed to kindly administer the oath. Maraming salamat.
I ask all the resource persons via Zoom and those in plenary to please raise your hand. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before these joint congressional inquiries to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Yes, Congressman Barsaga.
Just a clarification. Do Commissioner Lazada, as well as Attorney Ronquillo, are they also confirming under oath the previous statements which they have already given before this committee?
Commissioner Isada, can you kindly reply?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I confirm. Everything I said was the truth.
Salamat po. Attorney Ronquillo. Attorney Ronquillo. Attorney Ronquillo, kindly unmute. Yes, Attorney Ronquillo. Kindly unmute, Attorney Ronquillo.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you repeat the question, Your Honor, please?
Yung pong lahat ng mga binanggit niyo po kanina, that is under oath, do you confirm lahat po na statement niyo na ito po under oath, you are giving it freely to the committee?
Well, if you're referring to the identification of a former PhilHealth employee who is with us, yes, Your Honor, I am confirming that.
Mabilis pong tanong, yung pong binabanggit ni Commissioner Lisada, may ganun po bang direktiba na nanggaling sa inyong chairperson? You are now under oath, Attorney Ronquillo.
Yes, I am under oath, and categorically, I will say that I did not hear that guidance being given by the chair
Wala pong ganung
during
guidance.
any meeting in which I was in attendance, Your Honor.
Wala ka dun sa meeting na yun, Attorney Ronquillo.
I am present in all of the commission meetings except if I am sent elsewhere. But normally I am present in the commission meeting, Your Honor, and in all the meetings that I have attended, I did not hear that kind of guidance being given by the chairperson, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman,
Congressman Barsaga.
well, in this particular case, kita naman natin, there are two conflicting statements coming from responsible officials of the Civil Service Commission, which happens to be a constitutional body. Ang sabi ni Commissioner Lazada, there was an instruction, although it was made orally, but it was recorded, and the instruction came from the chairman. Now, we are hearing a statement which is completely different and opposed from that categorical declaration of Commissioner Lazada. The statement of Attorney Ronquillo na hindi niya narinig yan during the board meeting. And therefore, one of them is not telling the truth. Kasi ang pinag-uusapan lamang natin dito, mayroon bang direktiba ang chairman ng civil service na huwag mo nang i-release ang mga dokumento or suppression of the cases pending before the Civil Service Commission concerning PhilHealth employees or officials. Sabi ni Commissioner Lesada, merong directive. Ang sabi naman ni Attorney Ronquillo, wala siyang narinig. Just a clarification, Attorney Ronquillo.
Yes, Your Honor. I did not hear that guidance.
Kami kayo doon sa board meeting.
Ano po? Sorry po, hindi ko po masyado nadinig.
Ganong karami kayo roon sa board meeting?
Well, normally po, the chairperson, the commissioner, myself as the assistant commissioner, the director of the Human Resource Policies and Standards Office, the director of the secretariat, and then if there are other directors who are called to participate in the meeting. So more or less, it's 6 or more, Your Honor.
Gaano kalayo ang iyong kinauupuan mula sa kinauupuan ng ating chairman ng Civil Service Commission?
Katabi ko po usually si Commissioner Lisada during the meeting. At hindi po siya gaanong kalayo. I'm sorry, I'm not good in measuring the distance. Pero hindi po.
Ang layo mo kay chairman during that
Siguro po, madalawang di pa, Your Honor.
2 meters, 2 metro. And do you have any hearing problem?
Wala po.
Wala. So we'll continue and pursue that later on, Chairman, unless there would be another motion.
So there is would you motion to invite Chairperson Bala to
Mr. Chair, I think we should discontinue the interpellation insofar as the CSC's participation is concerned until the chairperson herself appears before us and clarify the statement given by Commissioner Disada, because this is a very disturbing statement and we would like to give her due process. I think she's not present in the Zoom. We would like to invite her, if possible, to be present here in the plenary, Mr. Chair, so we can propound questions to her and clarify this very controversial issue that hounds them. Thank you,
Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, before we act on the motion by the Honorable Marcoleta, duly seconded by the Honorable Barsaga, Commissioner Lisada, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, this is not easy on my end. It's quite difficult, but allow me to refresh the memory of Assistant Commissioner Ronquillo. When the chairman gave the guidance, ang kausap niya po, and the one you can hear sa recording message po ay si Ascom Ronquillo. She mentioned about a policy na isama sa data sharing, and it was Ascom Ronquillo po yung kausap niya. And you can hear it from the audio clip, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Yun lang ho. Thank you.
Your Honor.
Kasi Ronquillo, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, the question was whether there is an order for the suppression of evidence. There was none. The instruction of the chair was to ensure that this matter will be kept confidential from and not to be shared to the public, but will be shared if needed in any of the investigations being conducted concerning the PhilHealth. So there was no guidance to suppress evidence. We just wanted to make sure that the matter will not go out of hand by sharing the same in public prematurely. That's why, in fact, we have prepared all these cases. The list of cases that are now in the hands of Commissioner Lisada came from my office. And the list of cases that we will submit to you, to the committee, Mr. Chair, also came from our office. And we include the summaries of all these cases for the accurate information of everybody about the nature of all these cases involving PhilHealth officials with the Commission. So I categorically deny that there was an order to suppress evidence, Your Honor. The Commission...
Attorney Ronquillo, okay.
Attorney Ronquillo, who
Yes,
deputized
Your
you?
Honor.
to represent PhilHealth?
Your Honor,
Who deputized you to represent the Civil Service Commission, Attorney
Or
Ronquillo?
civil service?
here, Your Honor, I was directed by Chair Bala to represent her in this hearing because supposedly there is a commission meeting today at this very moment.
So, the chairperson of Civil Service Commission deputized you to speak for her. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasi kanina, let's go back to the earlier proceedings. Tinatanong ka lang ni Chairman Defensor kung ilan ang cases na nag-aatubili ka eh.
Your Honor, please, my apologies. Hindi po sa ako'y nag-aatubili but I do not have the exact figures with me. Ayoko naman po magbigay ng figures na hindi po ako sigurado sa number.
Chairperson,
But the truth is, yung po,
you should have anticipated the kind of questions that will come from us. Pagkatapos mag-aatubili ka, tatanong lang namin kung ilan ang kaso. Did you not anticipate that that kind of question will be asked of you? You being the deputized person of the CSC chairperson?
I'm sorry for that because we prepared for questions pertaining to qualification standards.
Will
The
you
one that you were asking.
hear us out? Nag-aatubili ka kasi kanina pa eh. Evasive ka. Unlike
Your Honor,
Commissioner Lisada, direct and straightforward. Hindi ba, Mr. Chair, alam mo, meron na tayong impression kagaya dito eh. I-deputize ka, mag-aatubili ka. Pagkatapos sasabihin mo, wala kang narinig. Anyway, we will give you your day in court kung ano man ang gusto mong sabihin.
Before I act on the motion, let me recognize the Honorable Fortun. Honorable Fortun, would you like to react? The Honorable Law Fortun is recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Chair, just one very quick question, Mr. Chair, for Commissioner Lizada. Madam, you said that the meeting was recorded. Who has custody of the audio recording now, Madam Commissioner?
Our liaison office po, the CSLO. Merong in charge yung secretariat po namin for the commission meetings, Mr. Chair.
And you were saying that the minutes that you were able to gather does not reflect the audio recording.
Dun sa mga pertinent portions that I was waiting, wala po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, in the light of the manifestations of Commissioner Lizada, I move, Mr. Chair, that the committee subpoena the audio recording and the minutes of the meeting, Mr. Chair. I think that would readily guide us who's telling the truth here, Mr. Chair. And if the committee finds out that indeed there was guidance from the chairman not to cooperate with the investigation being conducted by the Committee on Public Accounts, I also move, Mr. Chair, that we cite the CSC chairman in contempt. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. There's a motion duly seconded, but before we act on the motion of the Honorable Fortun, we first act on the motion of the Honorable Macoreta, duly seconded by the Honorable Parsaga, that we will take up the issue of the civil service. Particular po yung sinasabing hindi pagbibigay o pagko-cooperate sa atin by this Thursday at 1 o'clock. So motion, there being no objection, motion is carried. The next motion is the motion of the Honorable Fortun to officially subpoena the audio recording and minutes of Civil Service Commission, particular po doon sa pag-uusap ng doon sa hindi pagko-cooperate dito sa atin sa ginagawang investigation ng peso. Duly seconded, there be no objection. The motion of the Honorable Fortun is by approved.
No, I was about to ask Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Fernandez first. Go ahead.
No, I was about to ask kung together with the subpoena ng audio ay kasama na rin yung transcript of records. Nadinig ko naman po that you were mentioning na kasama po yung minutes. So yun lang po, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you. So the standing motion of the Honorable Fortun is that Pag hindi po pumunta rito at to shed light on it, that they will be cited in contempt. But we will not act on that motion until we are confronted with that situation. Honorable Barsaga?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I most respectfully move also that the civil service be directed to submit a listing of all the cases involving PhilHealth officials together with the update and the corresponding status.
COMSEC is directed to avail of the documents pertaining to the cases of PhilHealth, past and present, all the resolved and still pending cases within the Civil Service Commission. So ordered.
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable Barbers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, tanong ko lang po, posible po ba na humingi tayo ng copies ng mga decisions made by the chair of the commission with respect to PhilHealth? Kasi maraming okasyon na kung saan yung mga requirements were adjusted to suit the request of the requesting official ng PhilHealth. So gusto lang nating malaman for our education kung sino yung mga commissioners na nagbigay po ng ganong klaseng decision.
Tama po, Honorable Barbers. I agree with you. COMSEC, kindly get all the copies of all the cases. Hindi naman po natin kailangan ng hard copy, kahit yung soft copy mabigay sa atin para makita rin po natin yung nature ng mga kaso at kung paano desisyonan. So ordered. Honorable Barsaga.
at magre-request din ako sa civil service. What are the qualification standards for their senior managers, regional vice president, head of legal, and other various departments in the PhilHealth, in order to find out whether or not there has been compliance with the qualifying standards provided for and imposed by the law pursuant to under the Civil Service Commission.
Thank you, Honorable Barsaga. Batay doon sa mga binanggit, yung qualifications, minimum
Chair.
qualifications
Mr.
of
Chair.
those serving within the PhilHealth. Kung maaari po, kunin din po natin sa CSE. So ordered. Honorable
Mr.
Marcoleta.
Chair, if I can only modify the motion of Congressman Barbers in getting all the list of cases, I think we should categorize them. The cases that were disposed but appealed to the Court of Appeals or even in the higher courts, and the case that are pending. Para makita natin gaano ba katagal ang nagtatagal sa kanila bago nila i-resolve. Yung na-resolve naman, subject to appeal, merong mag-a-appeal sigurado dyan, para mas alam po natin, may screen natin lahat ng cases.
Thank you, Honorable
Mr.
Marcoleta. The COMSEC is guided accordingly. Yung mga naka-pending, naka-appeal, at yung nature ng cases nila. Particular yung mga grave misconduct cases, I think.
And then by doing so, Mr. Chair, makikita talaga natin kung sinusuppress talaga nila.
Thank you.
That's another matter.
Yes.
But you know, that the revelation of Commissioner Lizada is really very, very important.
Yes. Thank you for that. Honorable Barsaga.
Well, this is on another matter related to suppression of documents needed by this committee. Actually, Mr. Chairman, na mag-umpisa pa lamang ang hearing, nakita natin na masyadong shocking ang mga detalye pertaining to pneumonia. And so, because of these shocking statistics, na sa pneumonia, nagbayad tayo ng 13 billion, 700,000 ang cases, although sa DOH ay 400,000 lamang, I requested that the claim records regarding pneumonia, dialysis, and OFW benefit utilization shall be presented to Congress. I was informed this morning by Dr. Bernadette Lico na willing silang ibigay sa akin yung data. Unfortunately, the issue is that sa akin lamang ibibigay at hindi sa ibang miyembro ng committee. And furthermore, pinapipirma ako ng PhilHealth ng mutual non-disclosure agreement na hindi ko pwedeng i-disclose. Kaya ang sinasabi ko, Mr. Chairman, hindi ko naman malaman kung bakit kailangang isurpress ang dokumento. Sa katunayan,
Honorable
sa
Barsaga,
data...
mabilis lang po. Pinapapirma kayo ng non-disclosure agreement?
Yes, this one. Mutual non-disclosure agreement. So hindi ko ma-share to sa aking kaibigan na si DS Marcoleta.
Sino po ang gumawa niya? May I know who gave the document to Honorable Barsaga with the
Dr.
non-disclosure agreement?
Bernadette Lico.
Sino po?
Dr. Bernadette Lico. She is the one always giving the documents to us.
Mr. Chairman, since yung sinasabi po ni Congressman Barsaga is non-disclosure, can we subpoena those documents to be submitted in this?
No, wait, Honorable Fernandez, that is not the case. Those documents should be supplied to us, and no individual member of Congress should be made to sign a non-disclosure agreement.
And
Honorable
that's my-
Barsaga, please
yes.
continue.
That's my point, Mr. Chairman. Kaya siguro sabihin niyo na po, Mr. Congressman Barsaga.
Malinaw naman na sa Section 13, Paragraph F ng Data Privacy Act of 2012, the processing concerns such personal information. Ang exception is that when it has to be provided to the government or public authority. And this is not the first case na nangyari ito sa PhilHealth. Noong nagre-require ang dokumento sa PhilHealth, ang isang abogado pertaining to the names of those involved sa dialysis, nag-issue rin ang National Privacy Commission granting the request of a private lawyer. Kaya hindi ko malaman, kung lahat ng government agencies na hinihingi natin ng record, pati ang pangalan ng mga taong nag-claim ay hindi maibibigay under the Data Privacy Act, our constitutional mandate to conduct investigation in aid of legislation would be useless. It would be meaningless. Kaya gusto ko lang malaman sa PhilHealth, sino ba ang abogado ng PhilHealth na nag-advise na kinakailangan kong pumirma sa Mutual Non-Disclosure Agreement? At dito sa Mutual Non-Disclosure Agreement, yung datang hinihingi ko is only for me. I cannot share it with the other members of this committee.
Will anyone from legal kindly reply? Attorney Del Rosario. Ngayon lang ho ako nakarinig na investigasyon at nagkakaroon ng non-disclosure agreement. Kanina sa Civil Service Commission, ayaw ibigay yung impormasyon. Ngayon naman, nagbibigay ng impormasyon, may NDA. Honorable Remulla.
Mr. Chairman, is Attorney De Rosario present in Zoom?
Yes, Honorable Remulla. Yes,
Mr. Chairman, good morning.
Attorney De Rosario, you recognize?
Yes, sir. I did not give that advice. I was put under preventive suspension since last week, so I have no knowledge of that particular incident. And it has been my position that all documents that are being requested by either House and by the law enforcement agencies should be given to give way to a thorough investigation of all issues concerned. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Attorney Labe, would you know anything about this?
Mr. Chairman, it did not pass my office because the instruction from the PCO Morales, all documents requested in both houses should be given in full effect without non-disclosure agreement. We understand that, of course, the Congress can summon any documents.
Okay, before you continue, sa ating mga kasama, alam niyo naman po na si President Morales may sakit no, hindi makakatagal. But at any rate, he's now with us. If we can recognize the President and Chief Executive Officer of PhilHealth, General Morales, magandang umaga po sa inyo.
Good morning.
Yes, General, yung pong binanggit ni Honorable Barsaga, meron daw po mga dokumento na ibinigay pero ito po'y pinapapirmahan sa kanya under a non-disclosure agreement.
It might be an oversight, Mr. Chairman, because but it does, of course, it does not cover requirements of the House of the Congress or the Senate or any government agency, because I issued instructions that we will be open and provide all documents necessary for any government agency. But I think that is applied to some requests for individuals and non-government organizations for documents from PhilHealth.
Thank you, General Morales. So, klaro po to. General Morales, I know that you have limited time. Kamusta po kayo?
I'm glad to be here, Mr. Chairman, to be able to participate and contribute to this effort to improve PhilHealth. Maraming salamat po.
Kamusta po ang inyong kalusugan sa ngayon, General?
I'm being prepped because I'm going scheduled a chemo session this Friday. So I'm preparing for that po. Maraming salamat po sa inyong
Opo. On behalf of the committee, General Morales, we will be praying for your recovery. We will take this opportunity, General, if you don't mind, habang nandito po kayo, alam po namin limitado ang inyong oras. Gusto ko po munang i-recognize si Honorable Ace Barbers kung may katanungan po sa PhilHealth.
Mr. Chair, I was told that I will yield the first slot to Congressman Ron Salo. If he's not yet here, I can go on with my questions.
Yes, because I was worried about your time. You have another committee hearing, but I can go to the Honorable Salo.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I will yield the first slot to Congressman Ron Salo.
Honorable Salo is recognized.
Thank you very much, Chairman. In as much as you've already called Congressman Ace Barbers, and as much as he has a meeting, as I understand, I will respectfully yield to him.
So I will go ahead. Okay. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, ang akin pong katanungan, umpisaan ko muna dito kay si Attorney Del Rosario. Attorney Del Rosario, you're here, no? Attorney Del Rosario. He was here earlier.
Good morning, sir. I was having problems with unmuting. Yeah. Mr. Chair, magandang umaga. Magandang umaga po. Congressman Barbers, good morning, sir.
Okay, are you okay? Okay ka ba matanong ng mga konting tanong, attorney?
Okay lang, sir. My BP has stabilized, but I'm monitoring it. Thank you, sir.
Sige. Ilang taong ka nang nasa PhilHealth?
Sir, since 1998, so that's almost 22 years, more or less.
22 years.
Yes, sir.
When did you pass the bar?
Sir, I passed the bar in 2016. I took the bar in 2015.
So, may I know, attorney, kung saan po yung inyong undergraduate course?
I studied at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. I graduated in 1995. I took my law studies at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, College of Law, Mr. Chair.
Okay, salamat po. Tanong ko lang, what was the position that you were appointed to that was rejected by the Civil Service Commission before?
Yes, sir. When I was appointed as Regional Vice President, the CSC invalidated my appointment based on lack of training, managerial training, Mr. Chairman, since during that time the CSC has implemented 5 years requirement na dapat yung training mo ay within 5 years from appointment. But that was already modified by the Civil Service Commission, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. After that, anong position that was given to you in the PhilHealth?
After my appointment as Regional Vice President, I was appointed as Senior Vice President. So from SG 26 to SG 28, Mr. Chair.
So what year was this?
My appointment as SVP was April of 2019, Mr. Chairman.
Bakit? Kasi I remember when you were asked in the Senate, you said that you assumed the position in January of 2016. Ano ba yung totoo? January of 2016 or 2019 of July? Ano bang totoo dyan?
I don't remember yung January 2016, Your Honor, but I assumed as OIC SVP of the legal sector on July 2, 2018 as officer in charge when the SVP then filed a leave of absence.
You don't remember when you assumed as SVP? You don't remember
No,
that
sir.
year?
I apologize, Your Honor. What I'm trying to say is I remember assuming as OIC SVP in July 2 of 2018.
So you were never appointed as SVP nor took the position as OIC of the legal department in January of 2016?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking this is because I'd like to get a clear picture, Mr. Chairman, kung ano yung, kasi SVP legal, napakabigat po na posisyon yan. And
Yes,
I think ang kailangan ho dyan ay meron pong legal experience. May I know if you have any legal experience prior to holding or upon appointment to that kind of position, attorney?
As I have stated in the previous hearing, Mr. Chair, I don't have any experience as a lawyer as far as litigation is concerned prior my assignment to the Office of the SVP Legal.
Pero hindi po ba na kapag ka SVP legal, dapat merong kang minimum number of years legal experience, di ba? Tama ba ako doon, attorney?
Sir, based on the qualification standards approved by the Civil Service Commission, the SVP position requires 5 years managerial experience. There is no requirement as to legal experience. But when I applied,
legal
sorry, sir.
Kasi
Yes, sir.
ano SVP yan? Anyway, I will not belabor that point. Babalikan ko na lang mamaya yan. Ano? Gusto ko lang malaman, who was the president then when you were appointed as SVP for legal?
The president then was Dr. Roy Ferrer, but it was not him who appointed me. It was the PhilHealth Board, Mr. Chair.
Who appointed you?
The PhilHealth Board, the Board of Directors of the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation.
Definitely, your appointment will be ratified by the board, correct? But the president has a role and has something to do with your appointment. So you're not saying Dr. Roy Ferrer has nothing to do. Are you saying that Dr. Roy Ferrer has nothing to do with your appointment?
No, sir. Since the Personnel Selection Board for third level officers, he is one of the members.
Are
So
you
the selection,
Dr. Ferrer?
I'm sorry, sir.
Are you fraternity brothers with Dr. Ferrer?
No, sir. I just came to know Dr. Ferrer when I was when he was appointed as board member. I think in 2018 or 2017. I don't know exactly I don't remember exactly the year. And when I was assigned to Davao, he's also from Davao. So we met a few times in Davao.
Okay. Salamat po. The reason why I ask, you may be wondering, Mr. Chair, why I'm asking all these questions to Attorney Del Rosario. Simple lang po kasi ang gusto ko sana pong ma-establish because there is a striking similarities in the two cases that I am about to discuss and ask questions on. Ito yung kaso dun sa Accenture at saka yung bagong kaso sa Balanga, Bataan, no? Wherein money supposedly of PhilHealth went to deposited to another account, no? And in these two incidents, Mr. Chair, ang striking similarity dito ay yung personality ni Attorney Del Rosario. He was there in the Accenture issue. He was also there in the Balanga Bataan issue. Now, I'd like to go into a little bit of the details, Mr. Chair. Andiyan po ba si Dr. Banson? Mr. Edgardo Banson?
Before you go there, Attorney Congressman Barbers, you said you did not want to pursue and belabor that question which should have been pursued with vigor. For example, Attorney Del Rosario justified his being hired because he had managerial experience. Because you were asking him that it appears that he has no legal experience yet because he is only, what, how many years as a lawyer?
2016. siya
Okay,
naging lawyer.
2016. So for a position of Senior Executive Vice President for Legal, he's sort of saying that his deficiency is supplied by his managerial experience. Did you not want to ask him what managerial experience did he have in the past? What company did he work for to at least justify his managerial experience? Attorney Del Rosario, can you please apprise this committee how good you are in managing a corporation? What corporation did you work for to justify your managerial ability and be fit to be Senior Vice President of Legal for PhilHealth?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. When I was, I assumed different managerial positions at PhilHealth, Mr. Chair. I was manager of corporate communications for, I think, more than a year. I was manager of our physical resource and infrastructure department. I was manager of the contribution accounts management department. I was manager of the information technology management department. I was branch manager of NCR South operations of PhilHealth. I was regional vice president of PhilHealth Region 1. I was regional vice president of PhilHealth Region 11. So I was also, prior to that, I also have supervisory experience as division chief of the corporate planning department. I was also a supervisor when I was assigned as...
Can you please stop for a while? We are expecting that you will be able to explain to us how many corporations, for example, did you work for? Ang sinasabi mo puro PhilHealth eh. Ang pinagsasabi pong mga departments eh, you have not exposed your ability to head all these departments. Anong may pagmamalaki mo, for example, dun sa information technology? To make us believe that you are competent enough to manage that information technology. Sabi nga ng president ninyo, ito nga yung ugat ng pinagmumula ng anomalya eh. So okay, you tell us, naging manager ka ng maraming departamento. Does that give you a justification of your managerial acumen?
Yes, I believe so, Mr. Chair. Since the selection board has endorsed my application, and for the record, they did not only apply for the position of SVP for legal. I applied for 3 positions. So it was the selection board and ultimately the PhilHealth board that decided on my application. Now, the CSC has already validated my appointment based on the qualification standards approved by them. So I don't think it's fair to malign my person because of your opinion that I am not qualified for the position, Your Honor, with all due respect.
We were asking you to justify the managerial acumen that you are telling us that have supplied your deficiency in the legal issues here. Ngayon, sinasabi mo that you are qualified, but that is your own opinion. Somebody, for example, this committee will be in a position to assess and evaluate you. And I think...
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. The records, we have already submitted to the House of Representatives the records of the accomplishments of the legal sector. And you will see that during my limited time in PhilHealth, the number of investigations increased, the number of resolved cases increased, and the loopholes that were identified in the policies were plugged. So, so I think you just have to look into the records, Mr. Chairman. I'm not...
Attorney, Mr. Chair, Attorney Del Rosario, maghintay ka lang sa sinasabi mo. You're opening a can of worms now, ha? Pupuntahan kita mamaya. Tingnan natin yung sinasabi mong napakarami mo nagawa sa PhilHealth.
Limitado po kasi ang oras namin, kaya as much as possible, iklian mo yung iyong sagot. The reason why I wanted to establish and ask you those questions, kasi nga po, isa sa mga nakita nating loophole or flaw doon sa pagpapatakbo nitong PhilHealth, mukhang wala hong mga legal basis yung mga desisyon na ginawa ninyo, no? Example, yung IRM, we were asking you, anong legal basis nyo? Unang-una, interim reimbursement mechanism. Reimbursement dito, ba't kayo nag-a-allow ng cash advance? So dapat yung SVP legal would have given an opinion and perhaps even stop the implementation of such, no? Anyway, let the Congressman Marcoleta deal with you on that particular issue. Babalikan ko lang ulit yung sa Accenture. Nandito ho ba si Mr. Edgardo Banson, Mr. Chair? Mr. Banson? Is Mr. Banson around, Mr. Chair?
Mr. Banson, former president.
That's correct.
Yes, he sent letter. If possible, he will be attending this Thursday because he's now with ADB, Asian Development Bank. Do you have any more questions to Attorney Del Rosario?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Uunahan ko nga sana po si si Attorney Minerva Retanal ng NBI Anti-Fraud. Nandito rin po ba?
Go ahead.
Si Attorney Retanal ng NBI Anti-Fraud, Mr. Chair, nandito rin po ba?
NBI is recognized. Is this the same NBI on Accenture?
Mr. Chair, si Attorney Retanal was the one tasked to investigate the Accenture. However, when they started investigation, during the time, they faced a blank wall because they were given the reason that due to the Data Privacy Act, they cannot get any information out of PhilHealth.
Para po sa impormasyon ni Congressman Barbers, nandyan din po ang Accenture sa Zoom.
Okay.
So, okay, let's start first with the NBI.
Attorney Retanal, nandyan po ba kayo?
Kindly unmute, Attorney.
Attorney Retanal, please narrate to us your entire participation in the investigation of the Accenture.
Attorney Tanal.
Mr. Chair, wag niyo po ibawa sa oras ko, ha?
Kung gusto mo, tanungin na muna yung Accenture na nandyan. O kasi kay Attorney Retanal talaga tayo?
Mas magandang kay Attorney Retanal because we might be again given the runarounds, Mr. Chair. Kaya nga gusto sana natin malaman from the NBI, ano ho yung naging resulta ng investigation? Nakapag-imbestiga o hindi?
Si former President Basa is there. Siya din yung sa Accenture case.
So
Pero, ito na, si Attorney Retanal. Attorney.
May naririnig ako eh. Parang siya nga yun.
Go ahead, Attorney Retanal. Sino yung Accenture?
Anyway, nandyan ho yung Accenture, no? Wala kasi importante ho, very vital, Mr. Chair, yung statement that will be disclosed to us by the NBI on this particular case. Kasi nga ho, apparently, wala hong nangyari sa investigation nila. And that is what we want to find out. Now, I was given by Congressman Barsaga a copy of a PhilHealth Board Resolution number 1643, series of 2012. No? This is the resolution approving the financial settlement proposal of Accenture, Citibank, and Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company involving Accenture Incorporated premium contribution remittances for the months of October 2010, December 2010, and February 2011 to September 2011. Meron hong pinasok na settlement. Ang tanong ko ho, ang PhilHealth Board ba allowed to engage in a settlement case, Mr. Chair?
Attorney Labe.
I'd like to defer the question to Attorney Jojo Mangawang, the CORSEC po.
Attorney Mangawang is recognized.
And Attorney Mangawang, you're the Corporate Secretary?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, so Congressman, I'm the corporate secretary.
And you're familiar and you have knowledge about the Accenture?
I was not yet with the office of the corporate secretary at that time.
Attorney, sorry ho, hindi ko kayo masyado marinig eh.
Sorry, Mr. Congressman. I was not yet the corporate secretary at that time in 2012.
So you're not familiar with the Accenture?
I'm not familiar with the facts of it.
So Mr. Chair, ang tanong ko lang ho kasi, number one, allowed ho ba under the PhilHealth Charter na makipag-settle ng ganitong klase? Kasi ang nangyari ho ganito eh, yung supposedly PhilHealth contributions ng Accenture ay na-deposit po isa-isang bangko sa Batangas, sa Metrobank. Eh ang tanong ho dyan, kaninong account ho na-deposit? Number one. Pangalawa, kung may investigation, obviously there was a violation, no? And in fact, I was told that this is a criminal offense. Third question, may na-filean ba ng kaso ang legal department ng PhilHealth?
Before you proceed, Congressman Barbers, Attorney Retanal, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Good morning, Your Honors. Yes, I am here listening. Although there's some tech problem here for us sharing our video. If you could hear us.
Anyway, while you're fixing your video, the Honorable Barbers will be propounding questions to you. Go ahead, Congressman Barbers.
Yes.
What is surprising in this resolution of the board, Mr. Chair, is that PhilHealth agreed to a settlement of 95% daw of the total amount. The total amount involved here is 114 million pesos. And they made settlements, they agreed on a settlement na 95% lang yung babayaran. In other words, may 5% dito na hindi nawawalang pondo.
Sige po, Congressman Barber, siguro, Attorney Retanal, can you kindly appraise us, ano ba tong kasong to at bakit po kayo na-involved?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. This investigation involved NBI on November. It all started with the initial request for investigative assistance by PhilHealth sometime in 13 December 2011, which was handled by, which was through Attorney David Gabriel, a corporate counsel of PhilHealth, addressed this complaint or investigative assistance request was handled by our then Computer Crimes Unit under the Anti-Fraud Division. The main aspect of the said request is for the investigation on PhilHealth's IT system, considering that in the routine verification made by their Treasury Department in the conduct of reconciliation of accounts of accredited collecting agents, balance showed that there were postings made after said reconciliation which created suspicion on their part. It appears that the payments of member corporation, in this case Accenture, were diverted and that a possible intrusion in PhilHealth's IT system was made as cover-up. Another request.
Ma'am, meron po mga bayad sa PhilHealth na galing sa Accenture na parang ginalaw yung IT system na da-divert yung pera.
Sir, initially, during the reconciliation, it was found that there's a float item amounting to 114 million. However, these items were not actually received by PhilHealth. It was a suspicion because why will it appear in their database when in truth and in fact, PhilHealth did not receive any of this amount.
excuse me, Mr. Chair, attorney, ano lang, para lang clear. So it appeared in the IT of PhilHealth that there was 114 million that was deposited in favor of PhilHealth. Tama po ba 'yun?
No, sir. There is a float item of 114 million allegedly for the account of Accenture, but in their reconciliation, such amount was not received by PhilHealth.
In other words, in paper, may na-receive. But in actuality, wala pong na-receive. Tama po ba 'yon?
Yes, sir. Parang nag-a-appear po sa IT system that there's that particular amount, but in actuality, there's no such amount received by PhilHealth.
Okay. Please go on, attorney.
Yes, sir. Subsequently, a request for investigative assistance was received also by NBI on January 2, 2012 from attorney Ronaldo Modesto Ventura in behalf of Accenture Inc. regarding the company's contributions to the PhilHealth Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, for 10 months, totaling about 114 million, which, although reflected as paid in the PhilHealth information system, have supposedly not been remitted into the bank accounts of PhilHealth.
Would you know, attorney, to whom the money was deposited in Metrobank? Do you know the account name?
Your Honor, because of the prohibition under the bank secrecy law, I am not authorized to disclose in the session the names and account numbers of what we've discovered because of that prohibition under the law.
I understand, attorney. Pero
Pagkakala ng Congressman Barbers, attorney, ano po yung prohibition? Ba't hindi nyo ma-disclose?
Sir, under the bank secrecy law po.
Yeah, but yung bank secrecy law, hindi naman po to savings eh. Diversion ng pondo po to.
may public funds.
And these are
No, sir.
Attorney Retinal.
Sir, sir, what Congressman Barbers propounded is the bank accounts in Metrobank, because that's another aspect of the investigation. Supposedly, the unremitted payments of Accenture was related to RCBC collection agents. However, the Treasury Department has said that there's no amount reflected under the RCBC Savings Bank collection. With respect to the bank accounts of Metrobank, that would be another story.
Sorry po, simple na lang po. Meron po contribution si Accenture. Supposedly pumasok ang PhilHealth na divert sa mga accounts. Tama po?
Sir, can I state the antecedent
Yes,
facts
Attorney
for
Retinal,
that?
kindly reply.
Yes, Mr. Chair. The investigation disclosed that the payment supposedly intended for PhilHealth was made by Accenture through its Drawey Bank upon their issuance of a check. The aforesaid check apparently was delivered to a branch of PhilHealth and was issued a receipt. However, upon verification, the aforesaid receipt issued by PhilHealth is fictitious. So no crediting of that particular payment was made to PhilHealth because of the fictitious official receipt.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
So, klaro ko lang ho may bayad sa PhilHealth, dumaan sa bangko, nag-issue ng cheque yung bangko, yung cheque dinala sa PhilHealth, nagkaroon ng receipt ang PhilHealth pero peke yung receive. Tama po?
Yes, sir. Nakakuha po ang Accenture ng resibo for their payment, pero apparently, that receipt is fictitious.
Thank you,
Hindi
ma'am.
po siya duly issued ng PhilHealth.
Thank you, ma'am. Honorable Dan
Maikli lang
Fernandez.
to, Congressman Barbers. Mangyayari talaga yan, Mr. Chairman. Kasi nga yung payment system ng PhilHealth, hindi naman po siya regulated, hindi siya supervised by Bangko Sentral, na kung saan yung sa ating National Payment System Act, hindi nga nag-comply ang PhilHealth. Kaya ang nangyayari dyan, bara-barabay sila Talagang mangyayari yung pagkawala nung pera. Dahil nga sila, parang sila ay on their own. Para silang sarili nila banking system na kumbaga, control nila yung sistema nila, walang nagre-regulate sa kanila, walang nagsusupervise sa kanila, at hindi sila allowed by our national government like yung ating Bangko Sentral para mag-operate ng kanilang payment system. Kaya, yung mga ganitong klase sitwasyon, Mr. Chairman, asahan natin mangyayari hanggang ang PhilHealth ay hindi nagko-comply sa sinasabi ng batas under National Payment System Act, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Fernandez. Quick interjection with Honorable Barsaga.
Just a clarification. May nabanggit na naman na data privacy law. Unang-una, ilang cheque ba ang inisyu ng Accenture? Ilang cheque ang napa-issue ng Accenture for that amount of 114 million? Isang cheque ba lamang o maraming cheque? This question is addressed to the lawyer coming from the National Bureau of Investigation.
Attorney Retinal.
Yes, Your Honor. We've discovered one particular check which covers 10 months, totaling 114 million. That's for 10 months premium payment of Accenture.
Isang cheque po lamang for 114 million.
Sir, it would appear initially...
Ilan po? 32?
No, sir. That's because our investigation focused on one check only initially.
And that one check is already for the amount of 114 million.
Yes.
And the check, I assume, is payable to PhilHealth.
PhilHealth.
And were you able to retrieve a copy of the check in the sum of 114 million para malaman naman natin kung kanino napakredit sapagkat it was not credited to PhilHealth?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor. We've investigated the dorsal portion of that aforesaid check, wherein it is indicated, wherein an account number was indicated, was indicated.
Yung bang account
And
number?
that account number,
O hindi?
sir, sorry po.
Go ahead. The bank account number and the owner of the account. Go ahead.
Sir, as I said po, there's a limitation for us with respect to the bank secrecy law on the particular account. However, yun po yung na-discover on the check and we've made a lead out of it. Then we discovered several accounts also where the money were credited as well in one particular bank.
No, ang ibig sabihin po, isang cheque na deposito sa isang bank account tapos kinalat pa sa ibang account. Congressman Barbers, kindly continue.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Kasi nakakatakot ho ito dahil apparently when they did the tracing of the money, it ended up in a Metrobank account somewhere in Batangas.
Alam niyo po pangalan, Congressman Barbers?
That's exactly what I want to know because wala pong report na binibigay sa natatapos ang PhilHealth at ang NBI. That's the reason why, Mr. Chair, perhaps si Attorney Retanal would know no, kung kaninong account na punta ito.
Binabanggit ni Atty. Retanal, meron daw bank secrecy law kaya hindi niya makuha na ang mga... But, Congressman Barbers, ito po yung kaso within PhilHealth. I have it here with me. Administrative case, ito po yung Accenture Andersen Consulting Philippines. Tama po ba, Congressman Barbers? Ito po yung case na Atty. Labe. Would you know?
Mr. Chair, I just joined PhilHealth last year.
Okay, ang
together
nakapirma
with
dito si
PCO.
Ms. Peña. Sino sa Human Resources? Kay Vice VP Mas? Ang kaso po nila is grave misconduct, gross insubordination, gross neglect of duty, at dinismiss lang po sila. Neglect of duty ang kaso. I'm sorry, Mr. Balgomero was acquitted, simple neglect of duty. Ang na-dismiss po ay 3 tao. Ramirez, Visconde, Manlangit.
Yun nga, Mr. Chair, 114 million pesos ng pera ng taong bayan ang involved dito and simple neglect of duty lang ang ipinasa. What is also scary at nakakatakot dito, Mr. Chair, I don't know if it has something to do with the case, no? Apparently, yung tinrace nila yung pera, napunta sa isang bangko sa Batangas, sa isang Metrobank branch doon. And in that same branch, 2 empleyado ho ang namatay. I don't know if this is related. And if I were to conclude and perhaps relate this to the story of Congressman Argel Cabatbat, parang may pattern. Parang may pattern, di ba? May namamatay. So I don't know if the deaths were somehow related. But again, no, talagang kailangan makita ho natin ano yung punot dulo nito at nasan yung pera. Kasi bukod doon, merong settlement silang ginawa eh. And this board resolution authorized them, the PhilHealth, to agree to a 95% settlement. Bakit kayo makikipag-settle? Pera nyo ba yan? Pera ng taong bayan yan eh. Hindi kasalanan ng taong bayan na dahil sa kalokohan nyo ng PhilHealth, na-divert yung pera somewhere else. And then ngayon kung babawiin natin, sasabihin natin, sige, payag kami, 95% na lang. Anong klaseng polisiya ho yan? And that's why I started with my question dun sa SBP legal ninyo. He should have given legal opinions and legal basis on this particular policy. Ang dami niyong abogado dyan eh. Kayo yata ang pinaka-top heavy na organisasyon, government and owned and controlled corporation sa buong Pilipinas eh. Ang dami niyong doktor, ang dami niyong abogado, ang dami niyong CPA. And yet all these things are happening.
Attorney Retanal, ano pong update sa kaso ngayon? So hindi niyo na po matrace kung kanino pumasok ang pera at kung saan po mula doon sa isang account na yun, kung saan pang mga accounts kumalat?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed to state some antecedent facts for your perusal.
Go ahead.
Information. With respect to the death mentioned by Congressman Barbers, it is only the incident was found out by our office during our investigation that a former bank employee who resigned from Metrobank was killed sometime in December 2011. And upon our investigation...
Mr. Chair, pwede ba natin ma-request makita yung ganda ni Attorney Retanal so that we can communicate properly?
Attorney Retinal, there's a
Walang ano.
special request from the Honorable Barbers, if you can be on video.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
Mr.
sir, will.
Mr. Chair, pwede bang
Go ahead.
malaman uli kung magkano yung hinahanap na pera ni Congressman Barbers?
114 million.
100,
14. 114.
114.
Hindi kaya ng camera.
Mr. Chair, puto po yung hinahanap ni Congressman Barbers kasi po sa Cardinal Santos Hospital, 240 million po ang hinihingi, ang kinukuha ng PhilHealth. Ang sinetel po nila, 70 million. Ang hahanapin ko po mamaya, 170 million. Pero mamaya na po yun. Salamat po.
Salamat, Honorable Marcoleta. Attorney Retinal, you may continue.
Sir, medyo may technical problem lang po kami with our camera. But nonetheless, yes, the death of a former bank employee was somehow interrelated with the case of Accenture and that of PhilHealth. Na-relate, kumbaga, sa pieces of puzzle po, we were able to correlate those some incidences relating to the issue of PhilHealth. The bank employee, when we did our investigation, was killed by a riding in tandem, as per police report on the matter. And then when we do the background check of that particular employee, we found out that he is a former distributing clerk or in charge of the check clearing within the bank or that particular branch of the bank in Batangas.
So, ano pong status ng kaso ngayon?
Sir, yung death po kasi niya, the family did not pursue anymore any investigation by the police.
Itong sinasabi niyo, yung bank employee connected dito sa Accenture. Pero ano na po ang status ng case mismo? Because I now have with me, and I'll give this to Honorable Barbers, I'll give a copy. Dito sa loob ng PhilHealth, meron palang recent lang, no? So 2012 to nangyari, 2011 nangyari to, 2019 may pinirman si General Morales yung acquitted, si Roman Balgomera. But anyway, ano hong status ng kaso?
With respect to the NBI, it was the case was archived because of the absence of complaining witnesses from PhilHealth, Accenture, and Metrobank because of as an offshoot of their amicable settlement. Absent the complaining witnesses,
ang PhilHealth to,
our investigation.
Accenture, siyempre sabi niya nagkaroon compromise, ayaw nang po nila i-pursue yung case. But that should have been pursued by PhilHealth. So anyway, Congressman Pesaga?
Yes, simple lamang ang tanong natin sa PhilHealth. Kasi naririnig natin sa National Bureau of Investigation, walang complaining witness. The complainant in this particular case would be PhilHealth. At pangalawa, alam naman natin that the civil liability is separate and distinct from the criminal liability. Kahit na nagkasundo sa civil liability, the criminal liability would still exist. Kaya hindi namin alaman kung bakit nagkaganto ang asuntong to.
Attorney Mangawang, is that correct? Nasa board ka po? Hindi niyo na ito pinursue?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I didn't hear the...
Is that correct? Hindi niyo na po pinursue itong kaso ninyo regarding Accenture?
Based on the record, sir, no more...
Based on the records, no more.
Based on the board resolution nyo nakalagay na in view of the settlement, hindi na kayo magpapail ng kaso. Ang linaw-linaw dyan sa last paragraph, and Congressman Barbers will read the last paragraph of the resolution.
Go ahead, Congressman
Yes,
Barber.
ito, Mr. Chair, no, nakalagay po dito doon sa last paragraph. Resolved finally that PhilHealth management is expected to continue with its efforts and coordinate with the various government agencies to hold the perpetrators of this nefarious activity accountable and liable to the government. Anong ginawa nyo?
Mr. Chair, I will just check the records on.
Attorney, I hope you don't mind. Pwede bang, kasi hindi ko, Ayan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. I will just check the records if of any action made by the board after this July 19, 2012 resolution.
Oh, this is to 2012, Mr. Chair. But very clear dito sa kanilang board resolution na papanagutin yung mga nagkaroon ng pagkakasala dito, both administrative at criminal.
At dapat lang naman, 114 million pwede na palang dukutin sa isang kumpanya, hindi ipasok sa PhilHealth, aayusin sa accounts ng kung sino-sino, pababayaan na lang nila. So, ni mga awang, please reply.
And to add insult to injury, Mr. Chairman, settlement sa public funds. Kailan pa nagkaroon ng settlement yung public fund? Pera nyo ba yun?
First, Attorney, Congressman Barbers, yung pagpurso ng case, wag na natin sabihin na nag-aaway si PhilHealth against Accenture. Yung pagpurso ng case criminally against the bank, against the PhilHealth officials, nandito po sa akin, tapos na ho yan, hindi nyo na ho pupurso. Attorney.
Mr. Chair, I came in as corporate secretary only in October 2017. So from then on, I have not heard of any update on this last paragraph on board resolution. So I will have to check with the management.
Attorney Labe, kung sino mo nakakaalam, it's easy to check the legal head and who were involved here. We just go to the internet, alam na namin. But please, kung sino nakakaalam sa inyo, reply now.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chairman.
Attorney Limsiaco, Attorney Labe, Dr. Pargas? Wala.
Mr. Chairman, konting interjection lamang po. Kasi yung ganyang kalaking pera na nawawala sa PhilHealth, wag nilang sabihin na kadadating lamang nila bilang bagong board member. Very glaring yung kasong yan. Kahit sabihin natin na 2012 yan at nagkaroon ng ganyang settlement, it is incumbent upon the wise wisdom of the board members to act on it. Di ba? Lalo na yung legal sector ninyo, si Attorney Del Rosario. Dapat tinignan din naman nila. Di ba? Wala rin sabihin na dahil nakaraan na, wala tayong pakialam.
Is Attorney Del Rosario still in Zoom? Attorney Del Rosario?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Go ahead, Attorney Del Rosario. Ano pong status nitong kaso na to?
At nung nag-assume kasi ako, sir, ay merong turnover yan ng mga pending from the previous SVP. No? So this item was not included in that particular turnover. And nagsabi na rin ako minsan sa ating corporate secretary to check kung ano yung mga pending instructions ng ating board, no, para ma-actionan. I think they're doing that. So from time to time, the Office of the Corporate Secretary actually issues a directive to management requesting for updates of board directives. But I have not seen that particular issue on Accenture. Ang nalaman ko,
ano lang po,
yes,
ang kasong yan hindi tinurn over sa inyo.
It was not part of what has been turned over, no? Kasi ang lumabas diyan, the case was already terminated dahil meron na pong mga convictions, administrative nga lang. But meron diyang pending investigation that I acted on. So,
wala po yan sa tinurn over sa inyo.
Yes, sir. Wala pong doon sa inventory ng mga investigations that were turned over sa atin, wala pong directive na ganyan. Meron pong naiwan.
No, Attorney, a very simple question. Was this case part of those turned over to you as head of legal?
Sir, yung 2018, nung 2018 wala po. Yung directive ng board na yan, I've never seen that.
Attorney, simple lang po, so hindi po na-turn over sa inyo to.
Yes, sir. I've never seen a copy of that board resolution.
Thank you. Humingi ka
Thank you.
ng directive for Attorney Mangawang. Attorney Mangawang, anong action mo doon?
Sir, we asked the management to report on directives given by the board, but this particular directive was not made part of those report or update made
Sa'yo
at least
naman
from
napunta.
2017.
Sinabi na nga ni Attorney De Rosario, officially humingi siya ng directive sa'yo. Bumalik ka naman sa management, humingi ka ng kung anong action nila. Ano ba to?
Mr. Chairman, alam mo, kitang-kita naman na nagsisinungaling tong mga to eh. Kasi
Wala,
alam
Mr.
nyo,
Chairman.
kapag...
No,
Mr. Chair.
to be fair, no? Kasi siyempre pag take over ni Attorney Asuncion, binigay yung papeles. Hindi daw na turn over sa kanya eh. So he was asking Attorney Mangawang, the board, for a directive. So parang ako, anong action naman? Okay, first, Congressman Barbers and then Barsaga.
Gusto ko lang pong i-emphasize, Mr. Chair, na nung time na nangyari itong sa Accenture, kasi may issue about the IT, ang head nun was Attorney Del Rosario eh. So, dapat siya, bilang head, dapat siya nag-imbestiga nito.
Mr. Chairman, ayan, kitang-kita na po natin ang pagsisinungaling. That time pala, siya pala ang head noon. So, alam mo yung problema, Attorney Del Rosario. Bakit naghuhugas kamay ka na hindi tinurn over sa iyo ang isang bagay na in the first place, alam mo na.
May I respond, Mr. Chair?
Attorney De Rosario, Congressman Barsaga, you want to say something?
Yes.
Tanong ko lang, Mr. Chairman, para malinawan. Sino ba ang nagbayad sa settlement? This involves a very big amount. Sa tingin ko, hindi Accenture. Sino ang nagbayad? Attorney Mangawang.
Mr. Chair, I would not know who paid the 95%.
Ha?
I do not know who paid the 95% of the total 114 million.
Kasi sinasabi natin 95%. Ang tanong namin, sino ang dapat magbayad based on your board resolution? At pangalawa, ito ba ay nabayaran? Do you have an official receipt regarding payment for that 95% representing more than 100 million? May settlement nga kayo. Tinatanong namin, sino ang magbabayad?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair,
Teka lang pasagutin muna natin, Attorney Mangawang. Sino daw nagbayad? Hindi mo rin alam.
Sir, based on the board resolution 1643 series of 2012, the proposal came from Accenture, Citibank, and Metrobank.
Kaya nga ang tanong namin, sino nagbayad? At kabayaran ba ang dapat ibayad? At may resibo ba kayong binigay?
Bumalik ba yung pera?
Balik na naman tayo sa hindi nyo alam kung nabayaran o hindi.
Another striking issue here, Mr. Chair.
So there is no clear indication who paid who, what paid what. Wala. Attorney Mangawang, wala.
Based on the resolution, Mr. Chair, it does not appear who paid the 108 million, but it only states that this is to be taken as full settlement of Accenture's diverted premium contributions.
Congressman Barbers, last question.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Chairman Alvarado.
mukhang si attorney ay nagbabasa lang ng mga minutes ng kanilang mga meeting. Mukhang hindi alam ni attorney talaga yung tunay na pangyayari, Mr. Chair. Pero siguradong meron namang isa dito sa mga invited guest natin ang present nung nagbayaran yan, Mr. Chair. Baka mali tayo ng tinatanong.
Baka dapat natin itanong sa Treasury Department. Because
Tama.
they are the
Mr.
ones in
Chair,
charge of the collection.
Pwede ba nga ang pasagutin natin ay ang isa sa mga finance officer ng PhilHealth?
Mr. Lim Chaco is recognized.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Maybe we can, with due respect, Mr. Chair, maybe we can invite Senior Manager Banji Rasilis, who during the time was the manager of the Treasury Department, to shed light on the concern about Accenture, Mr. Chair.
Palagay na nga yan sa agenda natin na pag-uusapan. Tinanong na sa inyo.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Mukhang nagtuturoan na lang yung mga taga PhilHealth dito, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman.
at Mr. Lim Chaco, we're not saying kasama ka. Alam mo ba yung nangyari dito? Hindi.
Hindi po, Mr. Chair. Hindi po ako kasama during that time, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Barbers, can we request PhilHealth to give us the position paper, including Attorney Retenal, to give us yung mga binanggit niya dito, so that at yung mga involved po, no, yung binanggit niyo si Treasurer, Attorney Mangawang, Head of Legal, Attorney Del Rosario, yung kanilang mga affidavit tungkol dito sa particular na kaso na to. Go ahead.
Yes,
Congressman.
clarification lamang. Sorry, Chairman Barbers. Isubmit nyo rin ang dokumento kung sino ang nagbayad together with the date of payment and together with the official receipt. Magagawa nyo ba yun? Because the payment should be made pursuant to the board resolution. Gusto lang namin malaman, nabayaran ba? Sino nagbayad? Nag-issue ba talaga ng cheque? Eh baka hindi na naman pumasok to sa PhilHealth account. So it's useless.
Honorable Barsaga, para lang ho official lahat, huwag na tayong humingi ng kanilang affidavit. If we can subpoena the documents from the NBI based on their respective affidavits and all documents in PhilHealth pertaining to this case. Would that be a fair subpoena, Honorable Barsaga?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Provided
And that be submitted not later than tomorrow because we have a hearing on Thursday.
Yeah, provided,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, also
Okay.
na hindi fictitious yung resibo.
Yes. So the COMSEC, there's a motion to subpoena the documents pertaining to censure coming from the NBI and the PhilHealth. Pinapag-usapan po namin kayo kung maaari nyo ibigay sa amin lahat ng opisyal na dokumento. Huwag na ho kayo magsulat ng inyong sariling affidavit. I-submit nyo lang yung mga opisyal na dokumento na nasa inyo. If there are no objections, the COMSEC is hereby ordered to subpoena the documents mentioned.
If I may continue,
Barbers.
Mr. Chair, pending the submission of the PhilHealth on those documents that we subpoenaed, pupuntahan ko na ho yung isang kaso, yung Balanga naman po, no? Kasi it seems that there is a striking similarity dun sa modus operandi ng Accenture at saka itong Balanga. However, ang difference lamang po dito yung PhilHealth ay magbabayad ng services rendered by B. Brown, no? On May 2 to 22, 2019, the Balanga Rural Bank in Balanga, Bataan received 12 payments from PhilHealth intended for B. Brown Dialysis Center. The total payment that went into the bank account was 9.7 million. Upon discovery, Attorney Del Rosario allegedly instructed Attorney Roger Pocallan, the senior manager of the Internal Legal Department, to accompany the involved IT employees and quietly settle the scam on September 29, 2019. Dalawang empleyado po ng PhilHealth, si Miss Dr. Edita Coniel at saka si Mr. Jerome Olante, paid 49,000 pesos from their own pockets to pay the bank charges imposed by the Balanga Rural Bank before the money can be transferred back to PhilHealth. Ang ibig mo sabihin, napunta po sa isang, instead of directly PhilHealth paying directly to B. Brown in their own account, it went temporarily detoured. Yung pera nag-detour muna sa isang rural bank. So, I don't know kung naibalik ba yung perang yon, na-settle. Baka naman isettle ulit ito ng 95%. So, isa yun sa mga...
Pero yan, Honorable Barbers, ang kaiba naman yan, mula yan sa PhilHealth, papunta sa B. Brown.
Papunta sa B. Brown, yes.
So, andyan naman B. Brown, kung gusto natin tanungin.
Sige, pwede po bang matanong yung
May we request the Representative B. Brown? Ito po yung branch ninyo sa Bataan.
Bataan, yes. B. Brown?
B. Brown's recognized. Oh, I'm sorry. B. Brown sent a letter today na hindi sila pwede. Kahit Zoom, wala.
Siguro, Mr. Chair, si Attorney Del Rosario na lang to give us clarification on this, background on this particular case.
Attorney Del Rosario.
Attorney Del Rosario.
Bang pumapasok si Attorney Del Rosario sa...
Sorry. Naririnig na po ako, sir.
Go ahead, sige. Go ahead. Attorney Del Rosario.
Mr. Chairman. Opo, yung nangyari po na yan ay meron po yung investigasyon na hinawakan ng ating meron yan committee na kinreate, no, for that purpose. And during that time of the investigation, I was already on leave. So if I may request our corporate counsel, Attorney Labe and Attorney Roger Pocalian, they are online to shed light on that. No? Wala po tayong kinalaman dyan kung ano man yung nangyari po dyan. Maraming salamat.
Pocalian is recognized. Attorney Pocalian, please. Andito, si Attorney.
Attorney Pukalan,
Sige po.
bakit ka nandyan sa likod? Totoo ba, attorney, na you were instructed by Attorney Del Rosario to send 2 of your PhilHealth employees to the Rural Bank in Bataan and settle yung penalty charges of 49,000? Totoo ba yan? Itanggal niyo po.
Good morning,
yung
Your Honors. Good morning,
Go ahead. Sige,
Mr.
kahit hindi
Chair.
po tagal eh. Malakas ang boses niyo.
Hindi po, there's no truth to that allegation, to that statement. Actually, it's the President, it's with the permission of the President and CEO to meet the representatives, to meet the officers of Balanga, because our objective in going there is to recover the 9.7 million. No? Kasi nagpapalitan lang po kasi ng letter yung Land Bank, PhilHealth, Balanga. So since willing din naman yung Balanga to return, subject nga lang sa payment of the
fees,
convenience fee of 49
Sino
po.
po nagbayad nun? Sino nag-shoulder ng fees?
Sir, ay yung mga employees po, kasi talaga naman sila yung may kasalanan.
So
bakit
meron
po
pong
na-divert-
admission na itong mga employees na ito, si Dr. Edita Conel at saka Jerome Polente, admitted
Yes
that
po.
they were at fault kung bakit na-divert sa Balanga Bataan Rural Bank itong pera?
Kasi sir, sila po yung mga responsible
What was the admission of these 2 personnel?
Sila po sir kasi yung responsible personnel po sa PRO na sila po yung nag-click or
So in other
effect
words,
ng transfer po.
In other words, Mr. Chair, sinasabi nyo, attorney, na may involvement itong dalawa kung bakit na-transfer yung pera dun sa Rural Bank of Bataan.
Meron na sir pong findings din ang ating prosecution department. Nagkaroon kasi sila ng preliminary investigation na pinpointing na nga po yung dalawa.
Congressman Barbers, with your permission, kumari po masubmit sa amin lahat ng official documents tungkol dyan. In fact, the Honorable Barbers requested that last time. Wala po bang nasubmit sa amin?
Sir, meron po kaming sinubmit pati po yung certification from Land Bank na naibalik na po sa account ng PhilHealth yung 9.7 million.
At least Mr. Chair, na ibalik, no? Ang tanong ko, kanino pong bank account sa Balanga Bataan pumasok yung 9.7 million? Is he a PhilHealth employee?
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Remulla.
What's the gentleman doing, walking around and taking pictures? Sino po sila? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Okay. Kanino pong bank account pumasok yung pera na 9.7 million sa Bataan?
Sir, sa demand deposit account po ng Balanga, napunta yung 9.7 po.
Kanino?
Sa demand deposit account po ng Balanga Rural Bank po.
But you should know kaninong account name, account number. I'm sure you know that.
Sa ano daw sir yun? Sa base po sa investigation, sa account po mismo ng Balanga po. Balanga Rural Bank po.
Teka, please educate me. Napunta sa account sa isang branch sa Rural Bank sa Balanga, yung PhilHealth money. Tama?
Sa demand deposit account po ang tawag nila doon, na nasa Bangko Sentral, parang reserve po siya sir ng Balanga.
na nasa Bangko Sentral po yung...
My question, Mr. Chair, is bakit pumasok sa isang rural bank? Ba't hindi pumasok sa land bank? Wala bang land bank sa Bataan?
Actually, sir, yan yung... Meron niya yung ongoing investigation niya din po dyan. Nakapending na po sa ating Corporate Legal Counsel yung investigation report. So, doon po natin makikita po kung sino yung mga responsible pong personnel na nag-cause po ng erroneous crediting.
With your indulgence, Honorable Barbers, Attorney, baka po pwedeng ma-supply nyo kami lahat ng mga dokumento tungkol dyan, including yung current investigation ninyo.
Yes,
Basically, ito namang questions na to, including the problem with Accenture are all problems within yung kung may naglalabas ng pera, at syempre yung IT setup ninyo dyan. Congressman Barbers, if you can wrap up, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, yun nga nakakapagtaka eh. All this money supposedly would have been deposited to PhilHealth Depository Bank, which is land bank. Eh bakit papasok pa ho ito sa isang account na rural bank? So malaking question mark po sa atin yon, sa ating isipan. And again, no, I was told also, Mr.
Congressman Barbers, pwede bang magtanong lang? Kapraso lang. Doon pa sa rural bank ng Balanga ay merong mga tinatawag nating mga supplier na may account doon, yung mga nanggaling sa PhilHealth.
Actually, gusto ko nga po sanang tanungin yung B. Brown kung ginagamit ba nila as their depository bank yung rural bank na ito.
Exactly, kasi nakakapagtaka naman kung bakit doon babaksak yung pera ng walang account number saka account name. At kanina sinasabi ni attorney na ginagamit niya yung central bank. In the first place, wala nga kayong authority sa central bank eh. Wala kayong regulatory saka supervision galing sa central bank. Kaya you have your own system existing on your own without the supervision of central bank. Kaya nga illegal yung ginagawa niyang pagbabank transfer eh. Dahil wala kayong otoridad galing sa national payment system. So ngayon, don't use the central bank na unang-una ay hindi kayo binigyan ng karapatan na mag-transact. Kasi yun ang unang yung violation.
Okay, so Honorable Barbers, we will just get the documents from the Balanga Bank, and if I may,
last na lang po, Mr. Chair, last
sige po.
Kasi I was just informed, I don't know if there's some relation, ano? Kaya nga I wanted to ask sana personally Mr. Banson, because the owner, the president of the rural bank is named Rosario Banson. I don't know if there's a link, no? I'm just being malicious here, Mr. Chair, as advised by Congressman Marcoleta, that na meron kasing ano eh, you know, big question mark talaga paano napunta sa isang rural bank. Hindi naman po yun yung bangko ng B. Brown eh. Pangalawa, I was just informed that the owner and president of this rural bank was a certain Rosario Banson.
Who is connected to?
Or kapilido o related lang. So, in the meantime, pending the submission of all these documents that we subpoenaed,
Yes.
Mr. Chair, so I will stop here and
Thank you.
allow our colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Barsaga?
Sususugan ko lamang yung mga itinanong ng ating kasamang si Congressman Barbers. Attorney Del Rosario.
Del Rosario.
Yes, sir.
Na-appoint kang head ng legal way back in 2018.
2019, sir. Ano po, OIC po nung 2018, sir.
Okay, 2019.
Yes,
At
sir.
ang kanina, nasa PhilHealth ka mula noong 1998.
Opo, that's correct, Mr. Chair.
At bilang head ng legal, siguro, bilang kapwa abogado, alam natin na ang procedure, pag tayo ay na-appoint, nagkakaroon ng turnover ng mga kaso ng PhilHealth.
Yes,
Tama
sir.
ba?
Opo.
Okay. Noong araw ng linggo, nabasa ko sa pahayagan na nagkaroon ng leak sa opisina ng PhilHealth for Region 1 ng opisina ay nasa Dagupan, Pangasinan.
Yes, sir.
Yes. At mayroon ding impormasyon na binigay ang isa kong kababayan na dating naninirahan sa Dagupan at kanyang tinext sa akin at ang sinasabi niya, Kong PD, maraming kasong falsification ang PhilHealth diyan sa Dagupan. Can you confirm or deny this allegation na may mga kasong falsification filed before the Fiscal's Office o Juzgado sa Region 1?
Sir, merong sa pagkakaalam ko po, this can be confirmed by the Regional Vice President of PhilHealth Region 1. He is online. Ang pagkakaalam ko po, meron pong mga naisampa sa Department of Justice pertaining to fraudulent claims. At ito po ay hindi ko lang po alam kung ano na po yung development, whether this is now with the RTC or still with the Department of Justice. So the RVP of Region 1 can give you more accurate updates on that note, Mr. President. Mr. Chair.
On the basis of that information, nag-research ako.
Yes, sir.
Kita ko, yung isang ospital, Nazareth Hospital, ay nag-file ng kaso sa PhilHealth. Civil case on the ground na 4 na tao ang gumagamit ng kanilang mga invoices kahit hindi nako-compile sa ospital. Alam mo ba ang mga kasong to, Attorney Del Rosario?
Yes, sir. May mga ongoing cases po na sa Nazareth. But sa pagkakaalam ko po, the cases are with the I think with the arbitration office of PhilHealth. No, I don't have the documents right now. But Attorney J. Villegas is on the line din po. You can ask him.
At naglagay din sa press release na lumabas sa Inquirer on June 19, 2019 na isang pasyente ay nagkaroon ng 5 klaseng cancer. Cancer of the ovary, cancer of the cervix, cancer of the colon, cancer of the breast, at saka cancer of the brain. Natatandaan mo ba itong case na to?
You must be referring to the case of Elerin Zarate, the employee that has been dismissed by the Office of the Ombudsman pertaining to fake cancer claims.
Na yung si Elerin Zarate nakapag-claim para sa kanyang ina o ama ng 5 kasong cancer. Cancer of the ovary, cancer of the cervix, cancer of the colon, cancer of the breast, and cancer of the brain.
Yes, sir. I think, opo. Ang pagkakaalam ko po, yung fake cancer po, but I'm not privy to what cancers yung kinlaim, Your Honor, Mr. Chair.
Ang binabasa ko lamang yung aking nabasa sa Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Honorable Barsaga, ano pong ospital yan?
Nazareth.
Nazareth, opo. May madaming pending cases po yan sa inyo sa PhilHealth. Tama ba, Attorney Pucalan? Attorney Pucalan, dito na po kayo maupo. Tama po ba? Go ahead, Attorney, Congressman Barsaga.
So, at this juncture, Mr. Chairman, unang-una, hihingin ko kay Attorney Del Rosario ang update dito sa mga kasong to. Especially doon sa kasong falsification. Alam ng bawat isa sa atin that in cases of falsification, para makonvict ang falsifier or the author of the crime, kinakailangan na i-present sa husgado yung falsified document. Ang maging problema natin, yung mga falsified document, kung nabasa na at hindi na mabasa and readable, definitely the case will be dismissed.
Honorable Barsaga, we have, I think, documents in the central office in Nazareth. About Nazareth. Kasi nakita ko po yan na nakalagay sa central office case
Just a
nila.
clarification kay Attorney Del Rosario. Yung bang mga dokumento pertaining to falsification ay nasa central office insofar as the claims ng Nazareth ay involved?
Yes, sir. Kung pertaining to the cases of Nazareth, intact po yung mga documents natin. And I think the PhilHealth Region 1 has already given a statement also that no document was destroyed in that incident of water leak in their office, Mr. Chair.
I would just move, Mr. Chairman, dadalhin lahat ang mga dokumento pertaining to these issues to what I have stated and mentioned, most especially the PhilHealth payments to Nazareth Hospital, including
Thank
the
you.
records of the civil case filed by Nazareth against PhilHealth.
Thank you. Honorable Barsaga. Quick interjection, Congresswoman BH. Congresswoman BH.
May tatanungin lang ako kay Attorney Del Rosario from the last time because siguro nandyan din sila Dennis Mas. Dahil na-observe ko po dun sa kanina, since kailan po siya naging SVP head ng Region 1?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, when were you region head ng Region 1?
Ma'am, twice po, noong 2013, I think that's January of 2013 to June. And I was again reassigned to PhilHealth Region 1 in, I think, August of 2015 until April of, if I'm not mistaken, April of 2018 when I was transferred to Davao.
Okay. Kasi Mr. Chair, dun sa pinakita nyo kanina na listahan, it seems na yung Region 1, maraming COA disallowances from the 2013, 2015, 2016, 2017. So nagtataka ko, and that's what I want to ask Attorney Del Rosario. It seems na napakalakas mo sa board na ikaw ang na-appoint na SVP chair because despite the fact that your region had a lot of disallowances, you did have legal experience, and then yung point system yata, may parang you're parang 50 and then the one next to you is 80 points or 50 points, and yet ikaw ang na-appoint. Why is that? Why do you think you were chosen by the board?
Ma'am, these allowances are actually pertains to benefits being given to government, to PhilHealth employees, and these policies come from the central office. So these allowances that are applicable to PhilHealth Region 1 is also applicable to all other regions, kahit po sa central office, no, pertaining to disallowed benefits. Ngayon, I don't know about my rating pertaining to the ranking during the deliberations of the selection board, but as I said earlier, I applied for 3 positions. And the board has deliberated on those positions po. So hindi po tayo malakas sa board. I firmly believe that the appointing authority was convinced that I was the best candidate for the position among the applicants, Your Honor.
There was an issue that was released last year yata, that the building of PhilHealth na nilelease ng PhilHealth was that of Secretary Duques. Is that correct?
The issue is the building is owned by the family of Secretary Duque. For the record, the PhilHealth has been staying there since 2012, and the contract na pinirmahan ko po ay yung nakapirma po doon, sinasabi nila na ako ay ang nakapirma po doon hindi po si Secretary Duque but was Attorney Gonzalo Duque. No? So during that time, I understand that the Secretary has already divested his interest on the company, on the family corporation.
But you were the of the lease agreement? Ikaw ang pumirma ng lease agreement since 2013? Is that correct?
No, I don't. Kasi ma'am, yung 2013, 7 buwan lang ako doon. I think it was already assigned by the other RBP. In 2014, hindi pa ako nakapirma. 2015, hindi rin ako kasi late na ako, no? Nag-assume doon. So 2016, 17, and 18 po, yun po yung sigurado ako yung pumirma. And yun po yung nangyari doon. At as far as I remember nga po, the Secretary has already divested, no, doon sa kanyang interest doon sa family corporation.
So wala naman sigurong kinalaman yung pagpirma. Kasi 2018, you were already reassigned but you're still the one who signed the lease agreement?
No, ma'am. Ang ano po doon, ang basis po nila doon, the notarization was done when I was already in Davao City. But I assured the committee that I signed that document when I was still the regional vice president of PhilHealth Region 1.
Yun lang
So,
wanted to ask SVP De Luzar if he thinks hindi naman to award or reward sa
No.
kanya nagiging signatory ng lease agreement, considering
There-
that you have legal experience, you have a lot of disallowances, and your point system was way below that of your competitor nung nag-a-apply ka ng trabaho. Yun lamang, Mr. Cheryl. I'm happy na sinasabi mo na you don't think it was that. Yun lang, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Definitely no, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Congresswoman Bernadette Herrera D., Congresswoman BH. Kanina ako napag-usapan na yung ospital na sinasabi ni Honorable Barsaga, yung Nazareth. Nandito po yung tatlong ospital na nandito sa atin. Butuan General Hospital, our Lourdes of Quezon City, and Cardinal Santos. Yung binabagit kanina ni Honorable Barsaga, ito po yung settlement ng Cardinal Santos. Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon po, ma'am. May I now recognize the Honorable Barsaga to propound on this particular issue. But this was the case of, the Honorable Marcoleta on this case. Pero ito po kasi, ang lumalabas dito ho ay, if I'm not mistaken, mga multiple claims during this case. Yes, the Honorable Marcoleta is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Yung po kasing PhilHealth, noong 2011, and I'm borne out by certain records here, demanded the amount of 240 million from Cardinal Santos Medical Center.
Hindi ko alam yun. 2011.
Person, Mr. Chair, who can confirm that?
Okay, let me just clarify. Yung Cardinal Santos po na kausap natin ngayon was not the same Cardinal Santos at that time, in 2011. I have here the records. Cardinal Santos,
I think that time, Mr. Chair, Cardinal Santos was managed by a certain hospital managers.
Hospital Managers Inc.
Yes.
Okay. If we can request the current management of Cardinal Santos, ma'am, go ahead.
Sige po.
Honorable Chair and Honorable Congressman Marcoleta, this is Pilar Nenuca Almira. I'm the current President and CEO of Cardinal Santos Medical Center. Entering my personal appearance and attendance in this Zoom meeting.
Mr. Chair, mamaya ko na tatanungin yung SMI sa PhilHealth muna.
Yes, sa ano po tayo? Go ahead.
Totoo po ba na in 2011, meron pa kayong demand sa HMI, which was then managing Cardinal Santos, in the amount of 240 million pesos dahil sa pagsisiyasat niyo, meron pong tinatawag na under deduction of something like 3,000 pesos across membership of something like 48,000. So that is the basis of your demand. Tama po ba yon, Mr. PhilHealth?
PhilHealth, kahit sino po sa inyo, PhilHealth.
There seems to be a very silent position on the part of the PhilHealth. Pero Mr. Chair, ito po documented.
No, Attorney Pucalan may have knowledge of this. Attorney, arbitration office po to, sa legal po to. Can you please reply?
Yes, sir. I recall that time I was just a staff lawyer, no? So although I heard about that issue on
Bakit po, kung hindi pa kayo tatanungin, hindi po kayo sasagot? Alam nyo naman po pala. Tinatanong ko lang kung alam ninyo. Sana po yung nakakaalam, sumagot po kagad para mabilis naman tayo. Kung hindi po kayo tatanungin ni Mr. Chairman, hindi po kayo sasagot. Palaging ganun po yung actuation ninyo. Eh. Tama po ba na noong 2011 or that year, thereabouts, merong 240 million na demand ang PhilHealth from HMI, who was then managing Cardinal Santos Hospital.
I recall, sir, meron pong ganun.
Meron, okay.
I'm not just sure, sir, yung total, ano talaga, yung total amount, kung 240 million.
Nasa record nga po eh. Pakikita ko mamaya sa inyo, there are 2 demand letters written by PhilHealth to HMI. Ang nangyari po, initially, nire-review ko ito, at the initial stage of your negotiation with HMI, nagkaroon po ng joint accounting and reconciliation.
Honorable
Yes po.
Marcoleta, mabilis lang pong tanong para lang malinaw, step by step. Bakit to ang kaso ninyo, Hospital Managers Inc. versus Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila and PhilHealth Corporation? Ba't nadamay po ang Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila? Tony Pucalan.
Sorry, sir, I cannot exactly recall the yung facts nung case.
Who knows? Attorney Del Rosario, alam niyo po ba ito?
Yung issue na po na yan ay sa arbitration office po yung enforcement ng mga penalties, no? So for the record, the arbitration office is not under the legal sector. So if we can request the head of the arbitration office to answer the questions, Mr. Chairman.
Who is the head of the arbitration office?
Attorney J. Villegas, Vice President of PhilHealth.
Parang halapan dito sa PhilHealth para... Andito sa arbitration office.
Hindi, sino yung sumasagot kanina sa Zoom?
Tinanong ko si Attorney Del Rosario because I thought arbitration was under legal. Meron pala separate. Yes, Attorney... Speak on the mic. Please use the mic, please. Go on the record.
Di ba po ako nag-oath?
Ha?
Di ba po ako nag-oath?
Go ahead. No, it's okay. Di ba kanina sinabi all plenary? Anyway, just take your oath. Please, baka nga hindi ka nag-oath. Nagsabi ka na hindi ka nag-oath. Please stand up. Comsec, please administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth before this joint congressional inquiry? So help you God. Thank you.
Okay, why was the case Hospital Managers Inc. versus Roman Catholic Church and PhilHealth?
Sir, actually, sir, yung case po na yan is not an arbitration case. In-audit po ng PhilHealth si
Mr.
Cardinal...
Chairman, Mr. Chair, pwede bang palakasan natin yung boses nung sumasagot?
Kung nakamas po kayo, lapit nyo yung inyong ano.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung case po na yan, in-audit po ng PhilHealth ang Cardinal Santos. Tama po si Congressman na 3,000 lang po ang china-charge ni Cardinal Santos sa all patients po na covered ng PhilHealth. And then the Cardinal Santos will claim from PhilHealth the actual fee-for-service payment. So ang PhilHealth po nagbabayad kay Cardinal Santos ng, let's say, isang case po ay 16,000, pero ang binawas lang po sa account ng patient ay 3,000.
Okay, before tayo pumasok dyan sa overpayment, no, the Honorable Marcoleta will ask that. Ang tanong ko, bakit nadamay ang Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila at saka PhilHealth Insurance Corporation?
Ang alam ko po kasi yung Cardinal Santos is under the diocese.
Ari ng diocese?
Yes po.
Ano itong hospital managers?
Sila po ang nagmamanage.
So this is owned by the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila, managed by Hospital Managers Inc. Okay, Honorable Marcoleta, please continue.
Si Atty. Del Rosario kasi, sinabi niya, ang makakasagot arbitration. O sinagot niya ngayon, hindi po arbitration. Talagang si Del Rosario, pag sumagot, talagang puro mali eh. Wala talagang arbitration yun. Totoo yung sinasabi niya na ito ay sa accounting. Nagsimula kayo sa accounting eh. There was a joint accounting and reconciliation undertaken by PhilHealth and HMI. Tama? Pero nung nai-establish na ninyo...
on the mic for the record.
At the time that there was
Honorable
already...
Marcoleta, I'm sorry. Attorney, please reply sa mic para po recorded yung reply ninyo. Go ahead.
Anong pangalan niya?
Attorney...
Yes po.
I'm sorry, Attorney...
J. Villegas po.
Villegas. Attorney Villegas.
Attorney Villegas, at the initial point where PhilHealth and HMI jointly undertook an accounting and reconciliation, there was already a pattern being established na talagang papunta kayo dun sa 240 million pesos to support the demand. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Na-establish ninyo, out of the 8,000 provided by PhilHealth to HMI, 3,000 lang ang binabayad, so there is a balance of 5,000 pesos across a membership of something like 48,000 members. That is correct?
Yes, sir.
So, the demand letter of PhilHealth stood on a firm ground. Totoo yung sa inyo. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Ang problema, bakit imbes na ang PhilHealth ang magdemanda sa HMI, who is then managing Cardinal Santos, nakakapagtaka naman, ang nagdemanda pa sa inyo ay yung HMI. Baligtad ang nangyari. Ito, madaling sukatin ito eh. The processes taken by PhilHealth is very suggestive of corruption. I will tell you. Imbes na kayo po ang magdemanda, siguro kahit i-demanda nyo ng estapa siguro yun, or any other criminal cases adaptable and suitable for them, hinintay ninyo na kayo ang i-demanda ng HMI. And the case was litigated somewhere in Pasig City, correct? Branch 130 of the Regional Trial Court. Ngayon, ang lumitaw po, Mr. Chair, hanggang sumabot kayo sa judicial accounting.
Honorable Marcoleta, mabilis lang po. Doon po sa sinasabi ninyo na kaso, nakita ninyo 300 million ang sobrang binayad sa Cardinal Santos Medical Center.
Nung mag-accounting po, halos ganun po ang umabot.
At ang gusto ninyo, i-refund ang pera.
Yes po.
Wala silang ni-refund.
Pinaparipan nga po sa Cardinal Santos, hindi po na-refund. Tapos nawala na po ako sa legal noon. Nalipat na po ako sa internal audit eh.
Okay. Pero dun sa accounting ninyo, magkasama kayo ng Cardinal Santos at saka PhilHealth, established din yon.
Yes po. Dahil po na-compare yung claims na pinail ng Cardinal Santos against dun po sa binawas lang nila dun sa mga patients.
Okay. Honorable Marcoleta.
So dahil nga hinintay ninyo kayong idemanda ng HMI sa Pasig, ang Pasig Court constituted an arbitration committee, hindi ba?
Pardon, sir?
Nag-constitute ng arbitration committee yung Pasig Court.
Sorry sir, hindi na po ako privy dun sa transaction po doon. Ako po lamang ang participation ko lang sir is the audit on the claims filed by Cardinal Santos na straight lang na binabawas nila sa lahat ng claims ay 3,000. And then the Cardinal Santos will file a claim in PhilHealth na magre-reimburse sila for higher amount. Yun po yung aming transaction ko lang po nung sa Cardinal Santos.
Pero hindi nga po ganun ang nangyari. So imbes na yung 240 million na inyong pinare-refund sa kanila, ang sinetel na lang through the court is 70 million pesos. So ang nawawala po sa PhilHealth ay 170 million pesos. Tama po.
I don't have a personal knowledge, sir. Kasi po si Attorney Asuncion na po yung SBP Legal. Tapos na po kasi yung audit. So,
Sino po kaya ang nakakaalam noong pagkaka-refund ng 70 million pesos na lang out of 240 million? Kasi dito makikita ninyo, palaging dito tayo umiikot, yung pag-aalaga ng pondo, yung pagmamalasakit sa pondo, walang masyado kaming nakikita eh. Kamukha nito, meron naman palang basihan na i-refund yung 240 million. Meron naman kayong, nag-join na kayo ng accounting. Noong lumalabas na yung 240 million, tumigil ang HMI. Ang nakakapagtaka, ba't pumayag kayo na kayo ang idemanda sa korte na baligtad ang pangyayari? Okay? Hindi ko sinasabing may corruption sa korte, pero ito yung sinasuggest eh. Yung 70 million na lang ang ibinayad ng HMI. Bakit naman tinanggap ng PhilHealth? Ito po yung nakakapagtaka, Mr. Chair. Bago pa sila tumanggap ng 70 million, nagkunwari pa sila na kumuha ng legal opinion sa OGCC. Yung OGCC, kung babasahin po ninyo yung opinion niya, hindi po opinion eh. Mr. Chair, humingi ng opinion yung PhilHealth kung tatanggapin na nila yung 70 million. Alam po ninyo kung ano yung sinabi ng OGCC? Hindi opinion eh. It's a one-page letter. Reply to the request of PhilHealth for opinion. Sabi ng OGCC, kung inaakala po ninyo na itong pinresent nila na 70 million ay ayon naman sa inyong sarili kanyang paniwala, pwede na. Ito ba'y opinion? So makikita po natin, Mr. Chair, meron pong demand na malinaw, 270 million. Gumawa sila ng paraan para paikutin ang gobyerno. Ang nagdemanda pa yung sinisingil para lang magkaroon ng judicial accounting. Dito nila itinago ito, Mr. Chair. Pagkatapos nilang magkaroon ng judicial accounting, hindi ko malaman ngayon, paano ninyo i-account yung balance 170 million? Sabi nga po namin, kahit isang 5 sentimo ang mawala sa pondo ng gobyerno, hahanapin po yun sapagkat pera po ng tao yun.
Honorable Marcoleta, ito po ay plunder because ito po ay lagpas pa sa 50 million. This is 170 million na established, hindi binayaran, may kalokohan, and yet they settled.
Sinetel nga po nila yung 240, nagsettle po, pumayag ang PhilHealth, 70 million na lamang po. Kaya ang matitira na dapat na ibalik sa kanila, kinalimutan nila. Ngayon, hanapan natin kayo. Ibig po ba ninyong sabihin, nung mag-settle kayo in the amount of 70 million, ganun na lamang po ba yun? Ano pong sasabihin nyo sa miyembro ng PhilHealth? Paano po ninyo i-account to the last centavo yung 170 million na pinayagan nyo mawala sa pondo ng PhilHealth? Ito po yung tanong eh. Kunwari dumaan kayo sa korte para sabihin ninyo, malinis ito kasi galing kami sa korte. Kunwari kumuha kayo ng opinion ng OGCC o para ngayon panindigan na, kinoverap tayo ng OGCC. Legal tayo eh. Paano po maliligal? Meron po ba kayong may papakitang dokumento na kung saan yung 170 million na hinahanap ninyo sa ospital, may kakatwiran po ba ninyo ito sa miyembro ng PhilHealth? Paano nyo gagawin? Paano nyo pangangatwiranan na, okay na yung 170 million, nakita na namin kung saan napunta. Wala pong definite accounting kung nasaan yung 170 million pesos.
Honorable Marcoleta, yung pong 170 million, hindi na ho binayaran. Itinago na ho yun ng HMI. Yun po ang nangyari dito. And the time when this was decided, the head of the legal was Attorney Asuncion. Tama po ba, Attorney Villegas?
yes, sir.
Siya po ba yung nag-decide para magkaroon ng arbitration and settlement?
I think so, sir, kasi siya po ang legal.
At siya rin po ang nag-elevate sa board.
Actually, sir, si Attorney Pucalan po yung taga-legal at that time.
Attorney Pucalan, can you please reply?
Sir, in the initial stage of the accounting, I was part of that, but nag-reconstitute po ng team, so hindi na po ako nasama doon sa new team, no?
No, pero established po yung 240 million. No question about it. Kasi kahit naman dito sa records ninyo, established eh. Is that correct?
Sir, ang alam ko po that time, nagkakaroon ng accounting, comparing ng mga documents ng HMI and PhilHealth. Pero yun na nga, hindi ko na po siya natapos kasi hindi na po ako nasama doon sa team.
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable Barsaga.
Mr. Chairman, I want to,
Honorable Remulla.
sino-sino yung kasama sa team? I think on the record, we need the names of those people in the team. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Ang natandaan ko po, I was replaced by Attorney Dexter Navarro. Tapos yung chief po ng HCDMD ng NCR, Dr. Balbuena. Hindi ko na po... May CPO naman po, sir. We will retrieve the
With the indulgence
names.
of the Honorable Marcoreta, I will, si Attorney Asuncion, we asked him to attend the last meeting, but he did not attend. So, with the indulgence of the Honorable Marcoleta, what is the desire? Do we move to declare him in contempt or do we issue a subpoena? Tama, Comsec, nagbigay tayo ng invitation the last time?
No, sir. We weren't able to locate him, sir.
To Attorney Asuncion, cannot be located.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman?
Remulla.
I believe that we have to send the law enforcement agencies against Attorney Asuncion, and we can direct the NBI to study the filing of plunder charges. Because in this case, the investigation will need law enforcement people to locate Mr. Asuncion if he does not want to appear before this body or if he's guilty of any, because he who does not appear before a body like this would seem to be guilty, Mr. Chairman. There's a presumption of...
My question to you, Honorable Remulla, is that when you file this case of plunder, you will enjoin HMI, Hospital Managers Inc. Tama, Attorney Villegas? Hospital Managers Inc. Please reply to the mic.
Yes, sir.
You would have to enjoy the Hospital Managers Inc. and also the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. May record po yan malamang sa Office of the Senior Vice President ng Legal.
Kaya nga, tama ba ako, Attorney Villegas? Dahil sabi ni Congressman ni Remulla, pagka ganito naman malinaw yung kaso as presented by the Honorable Marcoleta, dapat kasuhan na yan ng plunder. Sabi ko sa kanya, pag kinasuhan mo ng plunder, dapat idamay mo yung Hospital Managers Inc. and the Roman Catholic Church Archdiocese of Manila. Tama ba, Attorney Villegas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, isa pang tanong sa inyo. Dati nyo yung empleyado, Vice President ninyo, and will PhilHealth be willing to file a case on this matter? Case of plunder?
The management has to act on it, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Remulla. So, as motion by the Honorable Remulla, if no clarification is given us by Attorney Asuncion by Thursday, the next hearing, this committee will recommend the filing of plunder charges based on the documents submitted to us by PhilHealth Arbitration and PhilHealth Legal, and to file a case against Attorney Asuncion, Edgar Asuncion, the Hospital Managers Inc., and the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila. So move, there being no objection, motion is carried. Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, ito po kasing kasong ito talagang nakapagtataka. Ipinail ng ipinail ng HMI sa Pasig Court. Pagkatapos, ang HMI did not even interpose any objection. Para bang ikinaligaya pa niya na sila idemanda. Kaya kitang-kita mo na ito yung usapan eh. Ito yung proseso eh. If you will trace the documents, it was HMI who is so insistent in settling the case. It wrote PCI twice. Nung primero, ayaw pa yung HMI. Tama naman ang sinasabi nitong dalawang gentlemen, pero ang sinasabi lang nila, sa umpisa lang kami kasali. However, that is still correct because tinanggal na yata sila. Pero bago na kayo tinanggal, you were able to establish the validity of the basis of 240 million pesos. That is correct.
Yes, sir.
Oo. Pagkatapos, dumaan nga sa korte. Ang sasabihin ng ordinaryong tao, nagpasya ng korte. Pagkatapos, pinasadahan naman ng isang opinion ng OGCC, the Office of the Government Corporate Counsel. Ang sabi niya, kung sa palagay niyo, tama naman yan, di okay na yan. Opinion ba yun? Nakapagtataka itong ganitong klase. 170 million ang nawawala ngayon. Paano ngayon kung hahanapin namin sa PhilHealth? At dapat naman talagang hanapin. Kahit piso lang. Kahit sentimo lang, dapat walang mawala sapagkat ito po ay hindi ninyo pera. Pera po ito ng miyembro ninyo. Ang nakalagay pa nga po sa batas fiduciary responsibility. Nandyan po yan sa IRR po ng PhilHealth. Sa charter ninyo. Paano ngayon ito, Mr. Chair? Paano ninyo i-account ito? Pwede po bang... Kasi kung itatanong ko kay Attorney Del Rosario ito, sasabihin na naman niya ganito. Wala pa po ako nung panahon na yan. Pero sabi niya, because of my managerial acumen, hindi man lang niya naisip ito. Kung talagang magaling kang manager, dapat tinitingnan mo lahat ito. Ikaw nang pinakamataas sa legal eh. Pero natatandaan mo, nung ikaw ay Regional Vice President, kahit na sinasabi ko na sa'yo, meron akong dokumento na ikaw mismo ang sinabihan ng fact-finding board, these are the 220 cases, administrative offenses, that you should file in the prosecution department. Ikaw ang head at under mo yung legal officer mo. Wala kang ipinail kahit isa. Pagkatapos sasabihin mo, meron kang managerial expertise and so on and so forth. Ang sasabihin na naman niya, wala pa po ako dyan. Kahit na wala ka pa, tungkulin mo siya sa atin lahat ito dahil pera ng mamamayan ito. Can you imagine 170 million pesos? Isinetel lamang nyo kasi ng 70 million. Di ba kayo kinikilabutan? Dapat naman sana kayong nilagay dyan para ayusin natin ito, mga kababayan. Alagaan po natin ang pera ng tao. Kasi po may ingat dapat tayo rito. Pero hindi ganun ang nangyari. Kagaya ng nililitaw ng mga dokumento ngayon.
Mr. Chairman, anong year nangyari itong sa Cardinal Santos?
Ano po?
Anong taon
Ito po
nangyari?
yung nangyari ng 2011. 2010, 2011 po to.
How about the settlement?
The settlement happened in
2013, something like that.
2013. Opo.
So, ganun na
let
lamang,
me just
Mr. Chair.
put on record, Comsec, dahil naimbitahan po natin si Attorney Edgar Asuncion upon motion of the Honorable Remulla, imbitahan din po natin ang HMI and the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Manila para po makasagot sila because if not, then the committee as approved will recommend such action.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Barsaga.
Well, I also move that we require PhilHealth to present all the records filed against them by
HMI, Hospital Managers Inc.
which became the basis of the settlement for 70 million. All the records. And secondly, to show also to us that the agreed settlement of 70 million was actually paid to PhilHealth. Baka may settlement, wala na naman tayong payment, or it was transferred to another account. So PhilHealth has to prove that.
Thank you.
So I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, so ordered,
Mr.
Comsec,
Chair.
by motion of the Honorable
Mr. Chair.
Barsaga. Honorable Kalbatbat?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Base sa narinig ko kay Kong Marcoleta, nag-settle yung PhilHealth for less. So, hindi po ba parang income ito dun sa kabilang party? Pwede ipacheck din natin sa BIR kung yung income na nakuha nila dyan sa onerous deal na yan, na-declare nila as income, Mr. Chair.
Okay, as requested by the Honorable Kalbatbat, can the BIR shed light on the matter being discussed? Mr. Villegas of the Arbitration, Attorney Villegas of the Arbitration Committee, kayo po ngayon ang SBP for arbitration.
Vice President, sir.
I'm sorry, Vice President. Ano pong probisyon ng batas o ng inyong implementing rules ang pinapayagan ng PhilHealth na makipagkompormiso dito sa mga bayaran sa ospital, bayaran sa koleksyon, at kung ano pa man?
Sir, in my opinion, sir, the corporation cannot settle because
Because
it is Congress who can also will only allow a public corporation to in a settlement.
So you're saying, ang sinasabi mo,
Minimum price for